All right, I might as well get started. I'm sure people will trickle in later. All right, so I've been thinking about doing this space for like the last 2 weeks, especially with the momentum that Brother Marcel Dixon's been getting. And I'm seeing a lot more non-FBA people jumping on the bandwagon, but we also got the we got that Boule non-FBA class trying to disparage and derail that conversation, and I'm not with that because that makes us all look bad. So I said, you know what? Let's do a space. Hopefully, I can get enough FBAs and non-FBAs to really sit down and hammer out where we can help you guys out at, because apparently they like us because we're the approved Negroes. So, you know, I just want to get some ideas from people. And if you want to tell us to F off, that's fine too. I'm all for whatever you want to say. So that's the question I'm posing here. How can non FBA assist FBA and freedmen with reparations? So if anybody has any ideas, please go ahead.
Well, the first thing is what you're doing now. You ask, okay, Afro Elite's going to be here in a few minutes. You ask what you can do to help us, with the reparations, and ask us what we want, instead of telling us what we should or should not be doing. I think that's the biggest issue that we have with non-FBA immigrants. Not to be offensive or anything, but a lot of the immigrants who are here in this country, they feel the need to like center themselves on the conversations that we're having about reparations, and a lot of times they come in the room and tell us why we shouldn't get them, or that we don't deserve them, or that they should receive them, and or that they hope we don't get them. So my thing is asking, first off, starting off by asking what you can do to help, and trying to basically check your fellow non-FBA immigrants when you see them being disrespectful about the issue, letting them know that that they should be grateful because we made it possible for them to be here, because of civil rights in the 1960s, and that we fought for you guys to be here. And we understand that you do experience anti-Black discrimination, and we understand that you have been going through a lot of similar things that we go through, but our ancestors were here for hundreds of years. And this is about the slavery that we endured, from the Aboriginals and the people who, some of the people who did come from Africa to make us who we are today. And that's the reparations that we are talking about for the people who were already here hundreds of years ago, from hundreds of years ago. But that doesn't mean that we aren't fighting for you. If we, when we receive our reparations, it will benefit you, because Black people in general will be doing better. We'll be able to build businesses. We'll be able to have our own banks, our own hospitals, our own schools, our own police forces, our own cities. We will have more power, which will trickle down to you automatically. So that's my take on it.
So you're telling me I have to take away the jerk seasoning from the Jamaicans until they get right?
Yeah. But we love you, and people like you I absolutely love, and you are my friend and my ally. And so I'm not the type that says, "Oh, I can't stand immigrants" or anything like that. I just don't feel like, if you really are for us, why stop us from getting our reparations? Why tell us that we can't get it? Why try to stop us from getting it? Why try to stop us from having lineage based reparations? I remember back in, I think it was April or March, when they had the reparations hearings for California. There were so many people on that board who were non FBA. Oh, yeah, our co host. there were so many people who were non-FBA on that panel, and they just were just basically trying to get us to make it so that it would be non-lineage based where they receive reparations. We're not trying to get reparations from their country, from Jamaica, from Africa, or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I have so many reparationist friends who have way better knowledge than I do, who have been fighting to get reparations for their countries in like the in Jamaica and different islands over there. So it's like we are constantly trying to help other people, and it's just time for us to help us over here. So if anyone else would like to speak on it, Elmira, would you like to speak? You were next. Welcome everybody to the room. Elmira, you can go.
Uh, as far as reparations, I understand. My father, years ago, I told him, I said, when I went to go to college without my scholarships and to have the extra monies, he says, I want to go to the Indian nation. And he says, no, he says, we don't deal with that. And yet I knew that his family were Indians, and we still have the land there. Um, so what I'm getting here, what I'm saying here is, do the color of our skin, it has always been against us. So we have to continue to fight. Reparations is ours. From my genealogical research of my family, it was the women who were the land purchased. The men were free. It states that they were freedmen. So they had access, they had their land. Though it was us women who were really, that on my family caught up in the bondage of slavery. So you know, at this point in my life, I am demanding reparations because I know my life. I mean, I had a great life, though it could have been a beautiful life. When I look at professionally, all of my colleagues who just automatically went to any John
Mom,
John J. named college, and they partake in that endeavor of receiving an education. Their uncle made up this college or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people just float through this country, and with us, as I say, I want to go to the Indian people to get, monies to go to college. And my father says, no, we don't do that. Because in 1936, the Indians, the Cherokee tribe, and a few of the others, the five civilized tribes, they says, as long the government told them, as long as you keep the black people out, then you'll continue to get your monies. So everybody gets paid. Even the Jews, with their grandmothers, they get a check. They started businesses. Don't think Granny didn't help them, cause she did. You know. Okay, that's I'm just and then with these shootings, what else has been said? Did anybody see the coverage of any of those funeral services that began yesterday of the 10 people killed in Buffalo? Now, we're dealing with this. I knew this was coming. They'd bring in the Latin aspect. And the only thing they want us not to say now is because there's some black Latins. So now what we're supposed to, divert. Thank you, Nikki.
Okay, I want to. Can you guys hear me? Because there's
yeah, we
a
can hear
couple
you.
things I'd like to say. First off, shout out to Kid Gravity. Shout out to the host. Shout out to our sister Nikki, the co-host, and everybody in the room. I see Black Voltron. I see Beatzilla in here. Um, I see. I'm not gonna give a shout out to everybody right now, but I want to say to answer the question, how can non-FBA assist FBA and Freeman with reparations? The biggest thing I can think of is that you guys need to be the force that's on all of the naysayers behind. Y'all need to be whooping anybody's ass who says anything negative about reparations, because what the problem The problem we're having is that the dominant society is using the immigrant tether class to say, well, they're black and they say we don't deserve reparations. So if they're black and they say we don't deserve it, if they're black and they say we just got to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, then it's not racism. They're using the tether class, and I'm not saying that all non-FBA are tethers. Let me make that abundantly clear. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But when they use the tether class, they can deny us reparations by saying, well, who gets reparations? Well, why don't I get reparations? My family suffered too. And too often, you have not enough non FBA people who stand up and say, this isn't our business, this isn't our fight. You have a few here and there, and salute to them, but that doesn't happen enough. So, um, my quick answer is to say that our on code non FBA brothers and sisters, they need to be the loudest voices when it comes to correcting the tethers, because for too often the tethers get away with saying whatever. And then our own code non FBAs, they don't really say anything about their own tribe or about their own ethnicity because they don't really want to be ostracized. They'll say something about us, about our coons. Everybody gets to jump in on our coons, and we don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to their coons, they kind of have their heads in the sand and they don't want to say anything because they don't want to get ostracized when they go back home. That needs to stop. You guys need to be the loudest voices against all of your coon class that come over here that say anything negative about reparations. So that's my short answer, and I land there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. And please, everyone, follow Afro Elite on Twitter and on YouTube. Let's help that brother get over 2,000 subscribers, please. Now, Black Voltron, I know you got a lot to say, brother. Go on.
Hey, good morning, Kid Gravity Beyond, Afro Elite, Nikki the God. Thank you for having me speak. Um, yeah, I do, but I was looking at these pictures and stuff. Had me thrown off a little bit. But yeah, you want to, as far as non FBA black people finding out what they can do to help FBA, let's go to the source, man. First thing you got to do is get your mind right. And that means understand what B1 Black First Black Empowerment means first. Get on code. That is the very, very, very first thing you should be doing. And once you get on code, as our elder Neely Fuller Jr. stated, in all 9 areas of human activity, well, plus one, make it 10th, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said in the medical. Next after that is understand that because you black first and you black, that the same shit gonna happen to you as happening to us. Cause so therefore it'd be in your best interest to help us. Last time I checked, white supremacy is worldwide. White supremacy is continental wide here in these United States. And it's hitting, black immigrants, non-FBA, the same as it's hitting FBA. Last time I checked, um, the brother out just north of Pittsburgh who was on that hunting trip a few months back. He was Jamaican, and what they do, they straight smoked him. All right, straight smoked him, made up some bullshit story, murdered him, and then said they tried to attack them, the white group. Well, of course, he can't say anything. Dead men tell no tales. So, who's to say that was true or not? We'll never know. But, as far as, understanding the system of white supremacy, it's just simple. They're guilty until proven innocent based on their track record. Until they prove themselves, they are guilty, guilty, guilty as charged. Okay. Diallo, I believe. I think he was either from the
Exactly.
Yeah, he was from the Ivory Coast
Yes. And
or
Admiral
Cameroon.
Wima was Haitian.
I'm near Luima, right? Haitian. They didn't give a fuck about all that shit. You trying to delineate and separate yourself from us, and look what happened. You get you get taken out. We not like those akatas. Well, take your ass on. Who was the most recent Sambo said that shit? Old Becky chopped his ass up like goddamn Ginsu and shit, right? and got away with the shit. And he was from Nigeria. So, you keep going and thinking that, you're going to be the special Negro, the Winsome Sears, whoever that coon up there is in Ohio trying to run for governor or something like that, or Senate. The Nigerian, Sambo,
Oh, you're talking about
he
Austin
going to get,
Ching up in Michigan.
yes, trying to get rid of Black History Month. You keep up the good work, and we're going to be isolated all by yourselves. And when you get attacked, just like that brother from Nigeria, it was with that Becky talking about, I don't associate with the Katas and these niggas and blah, 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 blah. Well, then, you got your Chadette Wheeler experience. I hope you enjoyed yourself getting chopped up like that. And your family come to us. Oh, what we gonna do? Oh, can you help us? Fuck no, we can't help you. Hold your own nuts. You hear me? Remember, you ain't like us, Akakas. So now they chopping you up. You don't get the group protection no more. You're not B1. You're not Black First. So fuck you. Go bury that motherfucking coon and fuck him. And you too. Because you had your opportunity to speak out and join us, but y'all thought y'all was better, super Negroes, uppity Negroes, better than us Akata. So you bury his non-Akata ass down there in the grave, 6 feet under, and you can hold your own us. We ain't protecting you now that motherfucker's dead. Kiss our black asses to the inner reaches. You hear me? And I'm gonna land on that.
So you're advocating for them to pull a Vivica Fox.
I would like to piggyback off
Who?
of what our brother.
Hellraiser?
Huh?
Hellraiser?
Say less.
Vivica Fox, Hellraiser with the lines and shit on her face, chopped up and shit. My favorite
All
character.
right, Black Voltron. Black Voltron, bring that West Coast heat. Go ahead. All right, go ahead, brother Afro. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Um. Okay. Yeah. No. No. No problem. No problem. For the last few months, we've been having spaces about the African diaspora and FBA and immigration, and in most of our spaces, you have non-FBA people who come in and they act very obtuse, meaning they act very naive to what their people do. They like, well, I believe in black unity and I believe in this and that. I just don't understand why it's just so much smoke for immigrants and we don't do anything and we don't say anything. And but they never want to acknowledge how their people make spaces about us. Their people make spaces, and I take screenshots, and I mention in the quotes. I'm all like, okay, so where's all the non-FBA that say we're divisive? All the non-FBA people that say I just don't understand why FBA is being so divisive. They don't ever pop up when you got Nigerians and when you have Haitians making spaces talking about, oh, FBA ain't shit, FBA doesn't have a culture. When they're making spaces dissing FBA, you don't ever see them pop up. And then when we say immigration doesn't benefit foundational black Americans, next thing you know, they're popping up. Well, what about Pan Africanism? And Marcus Garvey said this, and we're all black people. And when I get pulled over by the police, they see me as black too. It's no difference. So what we need is to move the needle forward. We're gonna need some honesty because too often when we say non-FBA people this FBA, they have disdain for FBA, and actually shout out to Marcel because I just watched his video that he did with Tariq, and when he mentioned the fact that a lot of non-FBA people come to this country with disdain for FBA, they all act obtuse about it. They all act like we don't know what we're talking about. We're making that up. Um, we called them African booty scratchers for no reason, and we have hate and jealousy for them because they're just so smarter and they work harder than us. So we're going to need our non-FBA to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, y'all do come over here with disdain. Y'all do come over here with a lot of disrespect. Y'all don't show any appreciation or homage to FBA anything. Y'all have bad entitlement. You're a lot of you, not all, but a lot are ungrateful and entitled to the things that FBA has made, and you act very spoiled about it. And then when we call it out, you act obtuse, like, oh no, my family loves FBA, and it's just a cultural thing. And next thing you know, we wind up seeing a whole bunch of Akatas in your damn timeline. You calling black people ghetto and Akata, black foundational black Americans ghetto and Akata. So that needs to be called out. Anytime I see a non-FBA acting naive and acting obtuse about the things that we're saying, we need our non-FBA brothers and sisters to come in and be all like, nope, they're right. We do be dissing them on the low. We do be talking about them behind closed doors. It is on our culture. Our parents do tell them not to talk to them, not to associate with them, not to do business with them. Y'all need to come in and be honest about the conversation, because it can't be FBA versus non-FBA. It needs to be on code versus off code. That's what it needs to be. So we need our non-FBA brothers and sisters to come in and be honest about what their culture does and how their culture views FBA.
Yes, sir. I mean, even like I'll start it off. I mean, Jamaicans, we have a very bad habit of giving backhanded compliments, especially when it comes to Native Black Americans. Hell, they even, it shouldn't shock me because they do it with the people that they like to call the fake Jamaicans, the ones that were born up here but they've never stepped foot on the island until the parents go back, and they feel as though that they're the superior Jamaican. I don't even know where the hell they got that from, but you're right. We have to, as a collective, call that out because a lot of us were born up here, and we have been rocking with a lot more FBAs than our parents and our grandparents have. So they don't understand how you guys move, how you guys operate. All you're saying is, listen, we work just as hard, if not harder, than you. All we want is you pay homage to what we've helped build up here and what we've created, and don't go around talking about you guys created hip hop because that's a slap in the face. And then when you guys say something about it, now you guys want to act like the victims. It can't work like that. So you're absolutely right, Afro. It's incumbent on all of us non-FBA to say something. So if anybody else wants to speak, let me see. Sincere, go ahead.
Yeah, Nikki the God just mic'd me up. I'm behind the wheel right now. I was gonna wait till I get to my destination, but yeah,
Okay, we can
Afro
wait.
Elite is 100% right. Say what?
No, we don't want you catching no ticket down here in Atlanta. You know how they are.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back.
All right, no problem, no problem. Yeah, we will make sure you safe out there. It's the end of the month. You know they gotta hit their quota, so we don't want you to get caught. But yeah. So basically, yeah, all non FBA. If you got YouTube channels, you got your Twitter and your Instagrams, your Snapchats, all that. Yeah, we gotta start calling out more. So I mean, I just finished rendering a video right now. That'll be out later because that Kinda Valeza on that interview yesterday, she got me heated when she said there's no such thing as racism and she can't understand how there's racism up here and she doesn't see it down there. And I had to politely check her on that. So yeah, that video is going to be up at 6 o'clock. So if y'all can, you follow me on my YouTube channel. Take a look at that. Make sure you send it out to your people. But yeah, we got to do better as non FBA.
Yeah, that
Cause that,
lady, was she Ghanaian? The lady that was on the program yesterday on Fox
yeah, she was
Soul.
from Guyana. Yeah,
Her the way that she spoke was condescending and dismissing of FBAs, and I felt I got what I picked up from her. It was like she was dangling her citizenship in our face and laughing at us as if to say, "Hey, I'm getting over on you." Did anybody else pick up on that from that woman? Was I the only one?
Yes, I
You
picked
picked
up
up.
on that energy. Her issue, like you said, very condescending. I didn't like her demeanor. I didn't like her attitude. I also felt like they both were basically, we come from impoverished communities and we just come here for a better opportunity. You have to understand, the conditions. No, we don't have to understand that shit because guess what? We're in the same condition here under the arm of this white supremacist government, yet we stay and we fight. Our ancestors stayed and fight. Don't tell me I need to sympathize more with you and your people group than I do have for Foundation of Black Americans. I felt disrespected.
I really felt disrespected with a lot of things that they were saying yesterday.
Yeah, even yeah, to piggyback off of that, yeah, I mean, the thing she was saying, and again, that goes back to that I'm sorry to say, but that Caribbean arrogance. Like you were in a worse position. You came up here, you built something for yourself. You were better off saying, you know what, I can't understand this American racism. We have our problems down there, but it's never this bad. I would have respected her more if she would have said that. But she makes it seem like you Guyana is like one of them scenes in a movie where it's just clear blue water. Everybody's nice, smiling around. Everybody's, you know, just buying stuff on the street, and there's no violence.
And lying and saying that there's no racism there. We don't
Right.
know
Like even
racism. We
her
don't know
political
black and
parties,
white.
her right, her two main political parties are divided by ethnicity. One's East
Right.
Indian, one's Afro Guyanese. So you're constantly seeing it. But again, she wanted to play woeful ignorant because she got up here. She has, she's a lawyer, and she lives in Buckhead, so she got some money in her pocket. So she thinks, oh, there ain't no racism up here. I don't understand why you black people can't be like me. That's what I got from her.
And also, she said it though. If you guys remember when she said, "Why should we come over here and help Black Americans? What? We're the ones who helped you get here. What do you mean? Why should you help us? What you
Facts.
mean? Why shouldn't you align yourself with other Black people that helped you and your family get here so you can get that education and, like she said, to go back home? Well, you should have built your shit up before you came here. Whatever you did here, you should have been able to do it there.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's keep the speakers moving. I can't. MIGZZ13. I'm not even gonna mess that up. Go ahead.
Nah, it's Mix 13, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? B1.
I'm good, man. Peace to everyone. FBA and non-FBA this afternoon. I am first generation non-FBA. I definitely come in peace, and I definitely come with respect for my FBA brethren. I saw that interview as well. That interview completely, I mean, for lack of a better word, pissed me off because it was agenda filled in a sense of the way that individual was coming with regards to, FBA should not be concerned about immigration, and why should we be concerned with these things? You're concerned with these things because you're black, and in your own native country. Like I said, I'm first generation. My family is originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and there is colorism, there is racism, there is tension between Afro Trinidadian and and Indian Indo Trinidadian individuals. These things go on every day. It is prevalent. It is visible. So for her to sit on TV and say that she knew nothing about racism, it's just outlandish to me. You know what I mean? Because these things happen. I'm over 40 years old. You know what I mean? I've experienced these things on both these continents. I've spent times in the Caribbeans where I've seen these things as a child. Came here while I was 7 years old, and I've been here in America since since 7 years old. So I've seen both sides of what's going on. I've been called a nigger down there as well as a nigger up here. When I go down there, what I find interesting also is that I'm first generation black, and I go down and I'm referred to as a Yankee because I was born in the U.S. From family, from individuals that were originally born in Trinidad and Tobago. So there's a lot of things that need to be worked out in terms of how black views itself from continent to continent. But we all got one fight, and the one fight is white supremacy and racism. And I don't see why a lot of people make this a divisive thing in the sense of well, seeing it in a different light, or seeing it as being something different, whether it's colorism, racism, any type of ism that is on your people. That's what it is. I mean, there's no separating that. We hear West Indian folks say, well, we're big on education, we're big on hard work. Well, so are my FBA brethren. All right, because they built the country that you were able to grab your passport, grab your visa, or grab whatever it is that you legalize yourself with, and come here to make money, or to make your way, or to make a better way, quote unquote, which a lot of them do, which is to make USDs, US dollars, and send those back to the countries in which they claim they are so deprived. So the angles that were taken on that particular interview were weird to me. All right, well, we came here because there are no opportunities in our country. Okay, well, if that's the case, then you should understand that the opportunities created were created because, literally because people fought and died for you to have it. So the disrespect that goes on with that, I find outlandish as a first gen, black person on this planet. I think it's deplorable. I think that folks that come in with ulterior motives regarding FBA getting their reparations, I think that's just totally disrespectful because what was done in this country should be atoned for in this country. There is CARICOM. There is other ways and other means in which you can get your paper with regards to what was done to you in your respective areas. So to infringe on another group of people, especially your brethren in another area, is absolutely offensive. And I take it upon myself to let people know, look, this is the case, and anything less than that is ignorance, a willingness to fail, and an acceptance of white supremacy. I mean, it's just that simple, folks. And with that, I know I've taken a while. Please forgive me. I'll land my plane.
No, that's cool. Get all your thoughts out. Get all your thoughts out. I appreciate that. Black Voltron, go ahead, and then Wondy, go ahead.
Wani can go first.
Yeah, so that's the confusion. We thought we were fighting the same enemy, but we're not. Because as she said, what does it have to do with us? What do we, and we're looking at her like if I saw her walking down the street, I would think she would be no different than a black American. If her brother got shot in the head by the police, just like other Caribbean men that we fought for justice for, Ahmaud Arbery and Botham Jean, we didn't differentiate. But see, the problem is they're differentiating, and we're at a disadvantage if we don't delineate because they're delineating. Her whole attitude was, what do you have to do with me? I'm not you. I came here to get money. I don't care what you're doing." But we're supposed to stand by them if something happens to them and they go running over and boo-hooing to the NAACP and to Black America to help them get justice. So I did not like the interview. But however, after doing this for 2 years, that is the general attitude. And if you would have asked her, have Black Americans done anything for Guyanese people, she would have said, no, you're not doing anything for me. She would have never said
Unbelievable.
we did anything for her. And I just want to add this. I had another snarky Guyanese woman say something, and I looked up what was going on, and they literally just recently asked Black Americans to help them with a political issue, and they don't even identify themselves as Black. Sometimes they identify as Chinese, and this woman had not that one, but another one had a Chinese flag in her bio because she said in the 30s they were Chinese, and now they're blackened up now. So now, no, 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 I can't deal with that kind of craziness.
I agree.
What's the craziest thing that you've heard, Wani? What's the craziest thing? Because I know that you've talked to and interviewed a lot of non-FBA immigrants. What is the craziest, most condescending thing that you've ever had someone say to you?
Some of the craziest mindsets is a Nigerian immigrating over to Ireland, calling themselves Irish. They call themselves Finnish. They call themselves Swedish. And it's really like they really believe that they're those people. And I've lived in other countries, and I was just a Black American in Australia. Hey, is it that hard? I wasn't Aboriginal because I went over to Australia. If I took a Black American man over to Australia and had a baby, the baby wouldn't be Aboriginal. Guess what? You know why? If I went over to Somalia and had a baby with my Black American husband, guess what? The baby wouldn't be Somali. But they don't get that. They actually think that they can just pounce over to another country and be those people. They actually think that they're sitting there right now telling me that they're Swedish. And that is the craziest thing. And this lady saying that, oh, we were Chinese before, but now we married somebody Black and now we look Black. So now we're Black. So you can help us now. No, you have a Chinese flag in your bio. So you scooch over there and talk to Chinese people about helping you in Guyana since you're Chinese.
Thank you so much. Can we call on Sincere? Because I don't, because I know he works a lot. So can we call on Sincere before Black Voltron? Because
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think,
Yeah, sincere. Go
okay.
ahead, brother.
Africans, Caribbeans, Spanish, Asians, Dominicans,
Hey,
Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, Native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. That's for the tether class, not for the riders in the diaspora. Listen, man. Y'all already said everything that need to be said. I came on a little bit late. I heard Afro Elite breaking the game down. What needs to be done as far as non-FBAs is very simple. Get on code. If you on code, then everything that needs to be done will follow that. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all non-FBAs who are content creators and things of that nature online, create content exposing your people. Put your people on blast. And I know it's gonna be some of your family members and all of that, but that's what you need to be doing so that we can have the narrative corrected the way that it's supposed to be, so that it ain't just us that's saying it and people are trying to make us out to be divisive because we pointing out the tethers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all point them out. Y'all point them out. Y'all interview them. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Create collages and all of that with what they're talking with the way they be talking behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And to add to what the sister Woni was just saying, that's some insanity that I just heard right there. It's funny how they'll go to these countries and call themselves Irish or Swedish or whatever, but when they come here, they still not Black American though. They still delineate when they come over here. But when they go to these other places, all of a sudden they become something else. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So y'all know me, man. I'm not long winded. I'm in and I'm out. Peace and blessings to everybody.
thank you, my brother.
Hey, sincere. I'm putting something in the jumbotron, so y'all can't say I didn't. I don't do what you just said. So
You
when
doing
y'all
it
done
right
with this
now. You
space, check
doing it
that
right
out.
now, Kid Gravity. Kid Gravity. You doing it right now. You doing it
Yes,
right
sir.
now. But I'm just saying that we need to see more of that.
Yes, sir. All right, let's continue. Black Voltron, go ahead.
Hoo-wee. I'm sitting up here dying laughing at what Sister Wani was saying. These niggas think they Swedish? Finnish? She said
The
Finnish.
African IKEAs.
Nigga. They Finnish? The fuck
Dude,
is
that should
wrong
be the
with
new
these
word. When they
niggas?
call Yokata, call them IKEA.
He's speaking. He's
Oh,
speaking
nigga,
facts.
please.
She's
Nigga,
speaking facts.
please.
She's speaking facts.
Nigga.
These are facts.
This is
Man,
madness, man. You
Facts.
Chinese? You a
Yeah.
Chinese?
Yep.
wow.
What? You go to
She's
Russia?
speaking facts.
You a black Russian, huh? Huh?
Yeah. She's speaking facts.
Is that that's what's going on? You go to Japan? You Japanese, right? You
Bro,
know?
check this out, man. When they go to, if you see a black man in the Netherlands, he'll tell you that he's Dutch.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, these
He will
niggas
tell
need
you
a
that he's
cola
Listen,
clean.
in
And
their
he
remember,
will tell
remember, I
you
mind.
he's
told
Dutch.
y'all
And I'm a
how them
person. And
Africans
I'm
and
a
them
person
Caribbeans
that
run
yeah,
over to England, and
yeah,
all of a sudden they kiss the ring.
yeah. They they
Man,
they they love the queen. They salute everything. And I'm speaking from experience because I grew up in that
Facts.
environment,
That
and
is
I've
fact.
traveled and I've traveled all over the world. And somebody did bring up a very interesting point. But when you notice, like Africans, they do go to these countries. They'll say that. I'll give you an example. The French national team, the soccer team, when they won the World Cup, they were French. They were proud of being French. They claim being French. Okay, they associated themselves with being French. But when they lost, the white French people called them niggas. And then they disassociated them and started calling them Africans again. Okay, so that is the mentality. And somebody brought up a great point that when they do come to the United States, they don't identify as Black Americans. They will tell you, "Oh, I'm Nigerian," or "I'm from Ghana," or But everywhere else, when they go to Europe or anywhere else, it's I'm Dutch, I'm French, I'm Spanish, I'm Portuguese, wherever. So that is a mentality. That is the mind of a colonized person because they do not identify. They don't want to identify with their black brothers and sisters here or anywhere else in Europe. They want to identify with the whites that are there or the Asian folks where they're at. And that's a serious problem. And you see it prevalent now. It's becoming more and more evident as you see these people in the media because these are the folks that the media personnel the white media are propping up now is that you're noticing that a lot of these folks are that are running for office, they're either foreign born or for some sort of, they're not foundational Black Americans now. So that means this thing needs to be tackled in from both directions. They need to be called out, and then also there's got to be a push to cultivate people from FBA backgrounds into the political sphere or into these media spheres. We have to push these people to get these things done. Unfortunately, and I have to bring this out, is that I noticed that in Georgia yesterday, they went ahead and reelected Warnock for the Democratic incumbent, and they're ignoring the reparations candidate. Okay, so there's some serious issues there that need to be addressed and figure out how we can get that agenda because it seems like the folks in Georgia are still asleep, unfortunately.
Brother, I've been telling them that for the past year and a half. But again, this is all right. I'll explain that whole situation. White people are pissed down here with what
Hmm.
happened in 2020. They're still upset. They don't. Yeah, reparations. They're not even caring about that because the governor never said anything about it. If he'd at least said it one time, it might have remembered them there. But we already know that, especially Atlanta, it's ruled by the LGBT white liberals and the Boule class. They love Warnock down there. He represents that Negro who will read you the Bible every Sunday. And Herschel Walker, I'm telling you, he gonna win, and white people are gonna be like, yeah, that's great. We have a controlled Negro, just so they can thumb it in our face. That's all this is. Like Tamara, unfortunately, she lost. She represented a change. They don't want to change down here. They want to go back to how it was pre 2020.
That,
And
that
my thing is, that's fine. I'm more worried about the governor's race. We cannot have Stacey win in this state. If she wins, we're done down here.
She's running unopposed as the Democratic nominee, right?
Yeah, she is already. Nobody was going to challenge her.
No
She's
one's
already
going
in.
to challenge her. So it
Yes.
basically comes down. When's the vote in August, right?
No, the vote is in November.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's in November.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if she wins, I'm telling you, black folk, you better start selling your shit because she's going to cater to the Asians and the Hispanics, and she's going to squeeze us out of Atlanta. And I said, if Atlanta gets a Asian or Hispanic mayor, the image of black people in the South is done.
I mean, yeah.
Did anyone else also feel like the Haitian dude was very disingenuous?
Oh no, he was a
Um,
coon. I
yeah, he
smelled
was
that.
very.
I smelled them biscuits with
Absolutely,
the
he was.
pickles. I
So,
smelled the biscuits with the pickles. I
so what
smelled it.
you
I
what
was
you have
like,
to
this Negro.
So
Did you?
what you have to understand with Fox Soul, Fox Soul is a platform for their immigrant coons or their freaking FBA coons to be up on there. They just basically brought Tariq and Marcel on there as a counter argument, but the majority of the platform is full of folks that are going to toe the Democrat line, pretend to be opposition. But it's that's it's another one of those corporate paid platforms to pretend to be black, but they're actually pushing a white line. So anything that you see, anybody that you see, you take with it. You just 9 times out of 10 believe that they're coons, and they're going to do whatever the corporate line or they're basically puppets with strings being pulled or batteries put in the back, and they're running on autopilot now, pretending that they're for us, but they're not. A lot of these platforms that are cropping up, that are being backed by supposedly corporate money, they're not doing anything for us. They're never going to do anything for us, and this is where you're going to see the bulk of your immigrant folks that are propped up to be the voices, which definitely needs to be called out because believe it or not, there are some folks out here that are you have to be careful of the college educated black folk, unfortunately, that are of immigrant background because they're going to take the talking points of their white liberal buddies or their white Republican buddies. There's hardly any middle ground with them. It's either they're extreme running with the left or extreme running with the right. There ain't too many that are going to talk with any sense, unfortunately. And those that do talk sense, we're not really out there trying to run for office. Um, as you all know, I am not an FBA. I am married to an FBA woman. My wife is, and But I've always been supportive, and I've always understood the history of Black people in this country from the time I came here, from the time I immigrated here. I learned, I immersed myself, and then I traveled the world to see the state of Black people. And Black people globally are affected by white supremacy, but a bulk of them try to be oblivious to it, and they think that just being oblivious to it is going to somehow make them feel safe. Well, you know, the situation that happened up there in Buffalo should be a reminder that no, you're not safe. Nobody's safe. We're not safe at all. We can get got at any time. And those that want to continue to be sleep, well, when the piper comes to pay, when it comes time to meet the reaper and you have to pay that, oh well, don't look for us to sit here and jump around and help you when you have a history of being a coon or being oblivious to racism and white supremacy. I mean, there's nothing we can sit there and do. So, I mean, these forums that we're doing right now, we're doing a tremendous job of talking and having conversation and dialogue and trying to get on code. And the key thing is that we get on code and that we push and we keep pushing, and we have to be supportive. And those that are not supportive to get called out. And I don't have a problem with you guys calling them out. I'm there. I'll be right there with you calling them out. You know, I don't have to agree with everything, but the one thing is that I'm going to be Black first, and then we are on code. And I fully 100% support my FBAs or my freedmen's getting what is owed to them, which is reparations. And if you can't see that, then what the hell are you doing here? Like, get the hell on and shut your mouth. And that's all I really got to say.
Yes, sir. Because you and I both need that. We need that blueprint because Queen Elizabeth got to come see us,
Yeah, she do.
and the Dutch, and the Arabs, and the Jews. That's right, I said them. They got to
And
come see us.
the other thing I find very interesting is that when I see Haitian people want to kiss ass to these white folks, especially, it's baffling to me that they, first of all, I'm like, you really do not know your history, because the last group of people that you should be kissing ass to is any white folks, especially white America. 'Cause white America played a part in the destruction of that country. Okay, white America played a part in enforcing Haiti to pay reparations to their former enslavers. America played a part in that. Okay, so to see them come over here and be mad, flat out disrespectful to Black Americans, like they weren't, like they weren't owed reparations. I'm like, you're a group of people that fought for your freedom and then turned around and were forced by the Europeans, okay? And then it was enforced by the US that they pay reparations to their former slave masters, okay? And part of that money went to fund European banks, not only European banks, but also Citigroup here in America. You know what I'm saying? So when you see people, especially when you see Haitian people talk like that, you should really raise an eyebrow and be like, you really don't know your history, and your folks ain't teach you the correct way, because this is the last place. I'm like, that's the main reason why when you all come up at the border, the United States is quick to deport you, because they know what they did, and they're definitely afraid of some revolutionaries coming up into this country and causing problems. That's the whole reason why they turn around and deport any Haitian that try to come up in here or seek refuge, because they're scared to death that there might be those that actually know their damn history. Okay, they need to screen those that come up in here. That's why they'll send them back. They'll let all the Afghanis and the Nazi Ukrainians and all these white supremacist Hispanics up in here, but any Haitians, they don't give a damn what they running away from Haiti for. They're not gonna let them up in the country, because they're definitely afraid that these folks might actually know their history and might cause a ruckus up in this country, and they don't want to take that chance. So, like I said, I don't understand any person, especially a Haitian person, that wants to side with the white supremacists and act like foundational Black Americans don't deserve no goddamn reparations. That's lunacy to me.
Yes, sir. All right,
I
Mister
think
Mister
the
Amari.
main reason why Black immigrants are let into this country less than everybody else is simplified by everybody just hates Black people. Period. Nowhere, anywhere I go around the world, everybody's going to hate me. There's no place safe for me to go and be Black. And so yeah, they are upset about what has happened and what they know that they're going to get back from the Haitians, but when it comes down to it, everybody just hates us. Hey, I was going to say, if you haven't spoken and you want to speak, raise your hand and we'll try to make a list so that we can get to everybody, who wants to
Yes,
speak.
yes, ma'am. Miss Elmira, go ahead. You haven't spoken in a while.
Wani was before me. She had her hand up first.
Yes, ma'am. All
I
right.
just I just wanted to say two more things. They are calling themselves Afro-Ukrainians, and you can Google that. And also, I'm not saying that I want them to call themselves Black Americans. Please, I don't need any ethnocide from random people coming here. They need to call themselves what they are. If they're Jamaican Americans, if they want to be Caribbean Americans, if they want to call themselves West Indians, they have plenty of names. So I'm not trying to get them to call themselves by my name. If they're Nigerian, they could call themselves Nigerian Americans, which is what they're supposed to call themselves. They can call themselves Africans, or they can call themselves by their tribal names. I've seen people call themselves Yoruba Americans. So they know what their names are. So I don't want them to. Somebody mentioned earlier that they don't want to call themselves. I don't want them to call themselves Black Americans because that would be doing the same thing they're doing to the Swedish. They're not us, is the hard point that people cannot understand. Finnish people live right next to Swedish people. They're not Swedish. Okay? It's two different people. So Nigerians are not Black Americans. And if I need to spell it out, let me know if you don't understand the difference. I can spell it out later.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Elmira.
When you look through your ancestry, you'll see the lots with the census, and at this point in time, as well as then, it's based on the area you live in, your zip code. So, being where you live, I'm considered white. So, that's important to be known.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I appreciate everybody with this conversation. And get a lot of good information and a lot of good feedback. So I appreciate that. I will say this though. It's it, it sucks that they still that I'm talking about the Caribbeans mostly. They still have that Eurocentric mindset that it's only my country, damn everything else, and I'm gonna wear that on my sleeve because I keep telling black people we can't fit in on this earth anywhere. We stick out, and they know that. Like it's easy for a white person to go to any country in the world and just be part of that society. We can't do that, and we're gonna be constant targets. You could have $1 billion in your pocket right now. You're still a nigger. You could be president of the United States. There's going to be some white person or some non-black person in the world that hates your guts or wants to do something to you. And I wish more of us in the Caribbean would have that mindset because I think we move a whole lot better. Because there's a lot of off-code behavior going on in the Caribbean. And like I said, with that interview yesterday, you saw two more examples of how those cultures think about people that live here. Like they come up here and they say, I'm going to show you what you should be doing. And we're not about assimilation because assimilation means eradication. We can't be like them. Our rhythm is different. I'm just gonna say it. Our rhythm is different. We got a whole bunch of rhythm that they can't imitate. And you would think with those different mindsets, you would say, okay, let's get together and find some similar ground and go forward. And then you can go coon later. But nah, they want to come here and coon and disrespect. Okay, cool. I get what you guys say now. F you, hold your own nuts. And when something happened, it used to be I told you so, but now, good for your ass. So I get it. So if anybody else want to say something, go ahead, because I'm frying some chicken right now.
I'll just say, as far as that panel went yesterday on Foxhole, I mean, of course, Marcel and Tariq, they laid it out. They did their thing. Excuse me, I'm eating too. They did their thing. But if you just let them folks talk, they make our argument for us. You know what I'm saying? Just let them talk, and they saying what it is. When you hear them talk, that's the mindset that we have a problem with. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like uh they making some type of counter argument that is viable or whatever. No, just talk. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Everything that you're saying to try to argue against what I'm saying is the problem. That's it.
So you're saying just let them talk?
Did you hear them? Did you hear
I
them?
watched the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. You could just edit out Marcel and Tariq and just post their parts. And
Hmm.
that's the argument right there. That's the
Yep.
proof right there.
Yep. Your own words will defeat you. But they don't care because again, they got propped up. They got a little hit to their social media. People went to go search for them, and that's what the new currency is attention, especially with the Caribbeans and the Africans, because for some reason they think they've been ignored, which I don't understand that. But okay, fine, you were ignored. Now you got some attention. Are you ready to deal with the consequences of said attention? Because I don't think they are. Because now they're getting a crash course into what's going on out here in the real world. And I think now a lot of them are starting to realize, hey, you're just like the Makatas that you call. You're black. You're a Negro. We don't care about your hyphen. And
I,
it's
I'm
like a shock to their brain cells. They can't understand that. I thought we were different. And guess what? When they shoot you, they're not going in your pockets pulling out your flag. They could care less.
Good day, good people. Um,
Mute up for a second, please. Just for a second.
okay.
Just for a second. Just raise your hand. We're calling you next. In a minute. Fuck. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was still unmuted when I said that. I was going to ask everybody, like the non-FBAs on the panel or who would like to come up, if they heard what was said yesterday on the Fox panel from the non-FBA contributors. If you heard anything that you thought that they were saying that was offensive and that supports our arguments, what would you say in rebuttal to them? What would you say to them to help them understand that what they're saying is wrong?
Here's the thing, though. I'm not gonna. They're not stupid. That's what I want to say is that they're not stupid. They know exactly what they're saying. It's not even a question of whether or not they don't understand what's going on. This is willing ignorance. This is they're not even ignorant to it. They know what they're doing. Okay, they know what they're and that's they know why they're being propped up. So this is not even it's not even about getting into a back and forth with them because they know exactly what the hell they're doing. They've been trained. They know what's going on out here. They see what happens to foundational Black Americans out here. They know exactly what the hell is going on. They just don't think that anything's going to affect them. What they don't realize is that if they continue with the status quo, it may not happen to them, but whatever happens to foundational Black Americans will eventually happen to their children or their grandchildren. Okay, because they'll be treated just the same. So this is not even a question of educating them because they know exactly what the hell is going on. They're not stupid.
Okay. No, it's not a question, but I'm like, we want more non-FBA participation from when you guys see that behavior. What can you do or say to stop it, to get them back on track, or to let them know that that's not going to be accepted?
Do
I
you
mean,
mean?
I do what I can. I will call them out when I see it. I will call them out when I see it. You know, I have no problem with calling folks out. Never had. You know, I will call them out. And I would implore other non-FBAs, if you're on code, you need to call these folks out. You need to check them. You need to check them. And you're gonna lose you know, it's not going to be easy for folks because some people like, it's not going to be easy for folks because some of these people are in your family straight up and down. Some folks are
Mm-mm.
going to be in your family that talk crazy. Okay, we all we've all had that talk, and I'm gonna be honest with you. We've all had the talk. I've had the talk when I was like freaking 12 years old about,
Yep.
"Ooh, you got to be careful around these Black Americans. I've had the talk. We've all had the talk until and then you see it with your own eyes. And you're like, it took for me to get away and go travel and go be around other Black Americans and live around them and understand that, nah, we're all black. They all gonna treat us the same. Okay. They all gonna treat us the same. When I was in the military, okay, and I'm around other FBA folks that's in the military, they ain't say, well, Jason, you're Jamaican, or so and so, you're from, you from Georgia, so you're a foundational black man. No, they all looked at us and was like, what all, and it was, if it was 4 or 5 of us standing around, the white folks would come around, what y'all conspiring about? Are y'all conspiring? I knew what they meant. What you niggas talking about? Okay. So there's no, so for those that want to act like that, like it doesn't affect them. They're ludicrous. They're crazy to think like that. You're crazy and you're stupid to think like that because it's going. Any one of us can catch it. When you hear in America, any one of us can catch it. They don't give a damn where the fuck you come from. Okay, excuse my language, but they don't care who you are. All they see is black skin. Okay, we can all get our foreheaded dotted by the police all the same. Okay, we can all catch a beat down all the same from the police. Our mamas can get killed in the streets by the police. Anybody can catch it. Okay, from these white supremacists. Okay, that shooter in Buffalo, when he went up there in Buffalo, okay, I don't care what the media says or how they try to play it. Oh, he wrote some anti-Semitic stuff in his freaking manifesto. I don't give a damn. He shot black people. Okay, he shot black people. Okay. He talked about Jews. He didn't shoot a single Jew. He shot black people. He didn't walk around the damn grocery store asking, are you FBA or non-FBA? And shot them. He didn't give a damn about who he shot. He just saw black skin. And if that's not your wake-up call, okay, to be like, you need to get on code with the folks that's here and fight for what the black foundational black Americans are fighting for, then go ahead at your own peril. And whatever the fuck happens to you and your family, so be it. But don't come crying to us or anybody else to jump on your side when you have a history of cooning. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Your ass is going to swing in the wind. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and I stand by anybody that wants to leave them out there hanging like that because they have to show and prove that they were down to fight for everybody that's black. Okay, and fight for foundational black advantage. We don't go anywhere. Okay, if the foundation isn't taken care of. Okay, if the foundation isn't taken care of, none of us are going to survive this. None of us.
Okay, yeah,
Period.
and I get that he was shooting black people, and everybody does hate black people. But he said he had, here's your reparations written on that
Mhm.
gun. He had the buck breaking part. A
Absolutely.
lot of it was aimed at foundational black Americans, and he did specifically pick out that specific neighborhood. He scoped out that specific neighborhood that had more foundational black Americans in it.
Right.
I'm sure that everybody wasn't. I'm almost certain that everybody wasn't foundational black American. Most of the people were black. But what I'm saying is I know that our constant fight for reparations, people are noticing it and they feel a certain
Yes.
way about it. So you can't
Absolutely.
say that had nothing to do with it
Oh,
because
it does. It
that
does.
is what led him to do what he
It
did.
it does. That lets you. By the way, that should let everybody know. Okay, that these little white supremacist groups are following. They just like they said they're the ones that'll be in the chat. They'll be the ones that's probably that make up the fake profiles that are listening. Okay, they talk about it in their little Reddit groups and in their 4chan groups. They know exactly what's going on. Okay, they see what's going on and what's being pushed by the new black media as a threat to them. Okay, it's obvious. It's blatantly obvious. I don't care all of his rambling bullshit about immigration. That would okay. No, 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 no. That's bullshit. That's ramble. That was the rambling part. Okay, because his actions were directed at a specific group. Okay, his actions were directed at a specific group. You don't just write nigga on your gun and here go your reparations. And what did he say? The buck is broken or something like that. Okay, that is Eurocentric, white supremacist, directed at foundational Black Americans. Everything that they listen to in 4chan, and that's what they talk about. And that's why you will see that no matter what happened, okay, all we get or all foundational Black Americans are getting from this is lip service from the president and everybody else. Nothing is being done as usual. They're not going to do anything. They know who he was targeting, but they're not going to do anything. And you'll notice nobody's really pushing any. They're trying to make it a gun issue. It's not a gun issue. Okay, all right. Everybody should be pushing an anti-black an anti-black hate crime bill. Okay, but it's going to get ignored. They're going to try to pivot. Okay, they're going to make this. They're going to take this shooting that happened yesterday at the school, and that's all they're going to focus. They're going to forget completely ignore what happened in Buffalo. It's already happening. They're going to completely ignore what happened in Buffalo, and they're going to make this whole thing about guns, a gun issue. They're going to ignore what's going on. They scrubbed the kid's internet. So you don't even know his motives right now. You don't even know what his motives are. You can't find anything. Okay, so that they can make it about a gun issue and ignore what's going on in Buffalo. When Buffalo, it was clearly directed at foundational Black Americans based off of what he had on his gun, what he wrote on his gun, and who he targeted. But they're not going to talk about that. They're going to just make it about a gun issue and these kids getting shot. And it is unfortunate what happened to those children, but understand what is going on. And all their little mouthpiece and their little puppets are going to run with this gun narrative. And they're going to completely ignore what's going on in Buffalo, period.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. I'm
Can
going
I
to call
chime
up
in?
Black Voltron next.
Okay.
If
And
you want
then
to speak,
Dre.
can you please? Yeah, and then Dre, do you know how to raise your hand on this app? Everybody
Yeah, I
does.
did.
Just raise your hand, and we'll call you after Black Voltron. Who's next? Wait, was it Wani next or you next? Black Voltron, Wani, and then
I don't know.
Uh,
I'll go. I'll go real quick.
okay.
I won't be long.
okay.
I just want to just piggyback on Sincere and Jason's points. When you look at that video, the Fox Soul panel discussion, as far as what I saw personally, I saw them two Negroes trolling. I mean, those are two very educated individuals, all right, both attorneys, and they're both sitting up there, acting like we're stupid, insulting our intelligence. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, if anybody paid attention all the way to the end, that coon Mammy was sitting up there promoting a book, How to Bring More Immigrants In. Okay, and they're not just black immigrants; they're all immigrants. All right, most of what they're saying, was basically coon babble, especially that stuttering Samuel, who came woefully unprepared, didn't have any facts and figures. And when Marcel and Tariq started hitting them with the facts and figures, it was one point, if everybody remembers, he got deathly quiet. I forgot what question either Tariq or Marcel asked him. He just shut up. He just shut up and shut down because you're sitting up there looking stuck on stupid like a deer in headlights. These people just didn't have any. They weren't really too sophisticated to me, but they were clear on their agenda. Bring more immigrants in there. Damn the foundation of Black Americans. So that's the type of immigrants we don't need, and we need to bang on them. We need to sound the alarm, just like we do the foundational Black American coons, like Jesse Lee Peterson, like Larry Elder, like Thomas Sowell, and anyone else. Non-foundational Americans need to be banging, and I'm not saying you don't do that, Kid Gravity or anybody else, but we need more y'all, to be banging on these Candace Owens and stuffs. And at the same time, as foundational Black Americans, we need to be banging on Sambo coons like Mushmouth Herschel Walker. Nigga can't even say two goddamn words without messing it up. And somehow he's gonna get in to be the Georgia senator with CTE. That stupid Negro, please. But as long as these people, I think somebody earlier said, as long as these people stick to one extreme to another, white society, whether it's left wing blue, right wing red, are going to shoot these Negroes in because they toe the party line. That's it. Soon as they start out with a black independent thought, B1, they get cut. So what do we have to do? We need to start putting more B1 candidates into the hopper. That means we got to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. Bring in, run for city council, run for water board, run for school board at the local level, and then run for mayorship, and then work your way up to the state level if need be, or if you get enough shine, get up to the federal level. But it starts from the grassroots, and we have to push and push and push and support with our dollars the B1 Black agenda. That's the only way it's going to get solved. That means sacrifice. We can't be partying and bullshit and then thinking, okay, well, The Tops Buffalo massacre was 10 days ago. I guess everything's in the clear now. Now that there's other things to concentrate on. No, we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused and push this message to our families first and be uncompromising about it because all our people are waiting to see the ones who are on the fence, the ones who are coons to see, are they really serious about this B1 thing or is this some old 60s black shit? You know, they want to, they're waiting for us to burn out, just like they're waiting for hip hop to burn out and it hasn't, going damn near 50 years strong. So we got to be in it for the long haul. This is going to be a ultra marathon of our lives and of our children's lives and our children's lives. So I just want everybody to just maintain that perspective, and there's going to be another panel like that, so expect it. We need to get ourselves as sharp as Tariq and Marcel and be ready to spit that data anytime, any place, anywhere. And I'll land on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. All right, Dre, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment about everything that's going on. I didn't see the event. I saw clips of it. It did seem, a lot of you guys are right. It did seem like the two guests was like willfully ignorant. I would say I'm Caribbean and American, right? I live in New York City, right? Brooklyn to be specific. They do not represent the best of us just by their thinking, right? Brooklyn and New York is part of the largest Caribbean community inside the United States, right? And our views are mainly one of the same as quote unquote foundational Black Americans, right? And I guess I'm part of both sides, right? And I cut that off for me a second. I'm talking. I guess I'm part of both, right? But their views does not is not how we view things. I would think mostly. Also, I travel a lot to the Caribbean and back and forth everywhere. I travel all across the country, and that's not the representation I get from Caribbean people for the for the main part. But first generation Caribbeans usually think like that, right? They ideas are usually skewed in that way. But for second and third generations, we
I see a
quickly.
whole lot of second and third generations that they were taught to think that way, and they usually hide the fact that they are of non-FBA descent, and
So
that's how I usually figure out what they are because they have that same the same characteristics of their grandparents.
so
But go
again,
ahead.
yeah, we are a lot of us are taught that, but a lot of us, I'm telling you, I live in New York City, right? I'm sure anybody living in New York City for the most part can attest to this. Like our thinking is one of the same, right? Stop and frisk affected all of us, right? All of the racist systems in place affect us largely in New York City. Almost all of the banking, everything. And I'm telling you, second, you'll find some, of course, right? Even the Caribbean and non non quote unquote non FBA people. There's levels, right? There's bougie people. There's people that can feel the racism on the surface level. There's people that can feel the deeper part of it. It's levels of that too in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
But
but brother, here's one thing. You know us up in New York. We can isolate ourselves from FBAs. We have that ability. They really don't. They can mitigate that damage with the cops and everything else.
say that one more time. Say that one more time.
You know Caribbeans, because I'm Jamaican and I'm from New York.
Hmm.
We can hide. You know our parents hid us from that stuff. We
Yeah,
mitigated a lot of They mitigated a lot of
no,
damage
yeah, you're right.
that the streets had for us because they told us, "Hey, you got to be in the house by 4 or 5 o'clock. Don't let me catch you out there." So we
Yeah,
can't. So you got to understand that FBAs really didn't have that much of a protection against police and the things out in the streets.
yeah, sort of. But I mean, I really can't say that. I was brought up in the streets, like you know what I'm saying. Like we conform greatly to the American culture. But again, I also live in a bubble, right? Being in New York, so I can't talk for everybody, right? But what I'm saying is, I think it's a lot of division, and I don't like the division, specifically what Tariq does, right, in attacking non-FBA people. I understand it because I got both sides of my family.
How does
But
Tariq attack non-FBA?
I mean, just the trolling, just even basic things like trolling, right? Just
How
when
is
he
that?
troll.
How is that an attack?
Say that again.
Because he's not, he don't he never starts stuff with anyone.
I mean, but even trolling, right? There's no time for that type of division. We don't have
So
time
so
to be
so
trolling.
did
We
you
What
have
do
come
you?
in?
What do you?
Did
What?
Dre?
I've been
Did
Dre,
you
following
come
up
in
Dre,
to
this
Rick.
Dre,
room to tell us
Dre.
that
Hold
what's
on, let me.
happening isn't happening, or what? Is
No,
that
no,
why
But,
you
I
came in here?
understand what's happening, right? I'm part of it. Like
So
again, I'm
what was
part
your
of it. I
goal when you
fight that.
came in here?
No, but I'm gonna tell people that those two people are not representative, I think, of the overall Caribbean culture at all.
No,
oh,
brother. Well, no. Hang on. Let me get this. That's not what we're saying. We're saying these two that were on that interview yesterday, they're a microcosm of the problem that FBAs have been having for years and years. They only pop up these approved Negroes because they come from the Caribbean and Africa. They're easily manipulated. They don't really want to understand what's going on and understand the plights of the problems
Hmm.
that we have in this country. They
Yeah,
rather say, okay, you want to prop me up, Mr. White Man? I'll do whatever you want. And then his
and I,
number one rule is going to say, make sure you don't mix with them native black folks over there, because they don't need a class that they brought over and helped bring over. They don't want the rising against them, and that's what the main thing is.
I
Let
mean,
me
I understand that.
let me
I
jump
understand that.
in. Let me jump in because there's something I want to say, and this
But
kind of piggybacks
real
off
quick, and I
of.
get off.
Hold on. This kind of piggybacks off of what I was saying earlier about immigrants being obtuse when we're having honest conversations. What you're doing now is you're trying to be dismissive to a large degree. You're admitting that you have the problem, but what you're trying to do is negate the seriousness or the gravity of the problem. And this might come off as offensive, but I got to say it. That's the same tactic that white people do. White people will admit, yeah, there's some racist white people out there, but most white people, we don't even see color, we don't see race. I have black friends and Black Lives Matter. That's the same thing that white people do. So you come here and you admit the fact that, yeah, there are some, but most of us, or what you said is third generation, which is not true. This is first, second, and third. They all are taught the disdain, and they all have the sabotage and stab you in the back mentality. Not every single last one of them individually, but collectively they do. Collectively, they do not go against that grain. And when you come up here and you try to dismiss the gravity of the situation, when we know full well in New York that's how they act. They act like that in New York. They act like that they act like that here in Chicago. They act like that everywhere they are. And we can't have honest conversations because you'll admit to some degree that the problem exists, but you won't admit the gravity of what the problem is. So we can't move forward because you're trying to say Tariq is a bigger problem. I'm seeing you admit that Tariq and him telling his jokes is a bigger problem with than what your people are doing, and we can't have that. We can't move forward with that we can't move forward without people being 100% honest because that's the same thing white people do. They'll admit, yeah, white privilege exists, but you know what I'm saying? It's really the government that's separating us, and white people aren't really racist. Maybe some old white people are racist. That's the same exact thing. It's the older white people that are kind of racist who are stuck in their ways. But the younger white people, we date black people and we listen to rap music and we're just as black as you. You know what I'm saying? I'm more hood than you. I grew up in the ghetto. That's exactly what they say, and that's kind of the same energy you're giving off.
And
Yeah,
you also got to understand
I
too,
get what
brother.
you're
You
saying. I
you
get what you're
you
saying.
and I are from New York. You know them Haitians are off code. You know that.
No, I agree. Listen, I agree. Yes, they are. They are to themselves. Trust me. I know exactly what you're talking about. What I'm saying about Tariq specifically was just like that doesn't help. I've been following Tariq for a long time. I follow that man. Like I actually like the dude a lot, and I'm not saying that just to be passive aggressive, or whatever. But like I follow this man. Like I follow a bunch of people, right? And people will probably think. But anyway, I ain't gonna get into that. But
I'll tell you why Tariq trolls a lot, because he wants those people that come over and try to be disingenuous. He wants them to see how it looks. Like when this whole when that Christian Ovenselli thing happened.
mhm.
Yes, he trolled a lot. You know why? Because him and his people said fuck FBA. But now when something happens, his father get on TV talking about, oh, y'all need to come help us, and they were like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I understand that completely.
Your son and your niece went on there and said FFBA. F the Makadas. I'd rather be around white people. Say less. Let white people go figure that out. Go talk to
Mhm.
the FBI. Don't come talk to us. And
Yeah, I
that
understand.
includes FBA and the non-FBAs. Don't come to us. And that's
Yeah,
why
I,
he does
I
what
And
he
the
understand
thing
that
does. He
is,
wants
completely.
people to
and
understand
the thing
I
I
whatever
think
wanted to
energy
point
you give out,
this
you're going to get it back.
the
Don't
and the
get
one
mad
thing
when you
I
get
want
it
to
back.
point out the one thing I want to point out with that is it's not, and if you check folks' history, it's not only FBA that he's done that with. He's done that with coon niggas that sat here and kissed ass to white folks and then ended up with a relative that was dead by the police. They wanted to cry to the black community about, do you love me? Can y'all help us out? I mean, so this is not just, oh, he's trolling FBAs. I mean, folks is just gonna get called out regardless of what they do. Okay. All right. I mean, are we not calling out Clyburn?
no, no, I understand that, and
Isn't
that's totally
Clyburn not?
fine.
I'm just saying, isn't Clyburn getting called out? Heavily? You know what I'm saying?
But I
So
think the biggest issue what I'm really trying to get to is that the people that's brought up to these platforms, it need not be those people that you heard in that event. Like those, that's not. I don't think that's the
does it
best
bother
advice. Just
you?
cause they
Does
attorneys.
it bother you of the size of the platform of the person that's saying it? Is that why you say he's
No, I'm
trolling?
saying it bothers me because I'm tapped into my community, right? Not just the Caribbean, but New York City black people, right? I like all around.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, I don't think that's representative. Well, I could say New York, but I can't say everywhere. But that's not representative of my age group. I'm 37 years old, or people close to my age group out here in this large population, probably the biggest population in New York City. While people do think like that, I acknowledge that, especially parents and older generations,
It's
they
not just the
do.
older generation.
No, not just. Of course, brother, not just. It can't be just. It can't be just because it's passed on, right?
What is
But
it about them that they think is better than Black Americans? I
I
want
don't
to
think
hear
they think they're
this.
better. I think it's an ignorance. It's a real ignorance, right? Not knowing
That's the
ignorance.
same thing
Sir,
white
it's
people
not
say.
ignorance.
That's the same
That's
thing white
that's
people
what's
say.
passed down.
Some willfully and some not willfully. Because
That's passed down
if you go
behavior,
to the
though.
Caribbean, they would tell you like, yo, we don't even know what racism is that y'all talking about. Although we can see it there. I can see it when I go down there in their face, but they don't even see it, right? They don't see the Asians taking over. They see the money they're getting from the Asians, right? They don't see that. They don't see these white people making this road that makes their life easier, but they
I
gotta
don't
get
see
something in
how though.
return.
Brother, Jamaica would like to have a word with you on that. Trinidad would like to have a word with you on that.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
China just bought the port of Kingston, the biggest port in Jamaica. Black folk ain't getting none of that money except a paycheck.
No, no,
They
I
don't
just
control that.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Caribbeans don't see that. They don't
Yes,
see
they
that.
do. You
Yes,
know,
they
you're
do.
right. They're willfully ignorant,
they
but
see
here's the
it.
problem: they
May I
They
have to
see
teach the
it.
respond?
next generation
May I respond
about
to
those
that?
problems.
They
They're not
either
taking
see
the
it
Go
time
and
go
to
ahead,
see it.
ignorant.
Wani. Let Wani respond.
I
Go ahead.
just sent Nikki a an article about how Jamaicans see themselves. It's Jamaicans.com. They think they're Chinese.
I'll
They
post it.
think they're Syrian. They think they're
Irish.
East Indian. They think they're Irish. They think they're all those things. So it's first off, it's impossible. It is impossible to align with people that feel that they are the same as those other groups because they obviously do not understand it. And I don't understand how they could complain about those groups when they think they're those groups. So I don't understand how you can say you are just like a Black American, like me, but my parents didn't teach me to hate me, but your parents taught you to hate me. So we're not the same. I don't think that I'm Chinese. I don't think I'm Arab. I don't think I can move to America and become Black American. I don't think that way. So how can we ever see eye to eye when you have articles and different think pieces? Even the motto of Jamaica says, out of many people, one. You think
Hmm.
you're one person. That's not the
Right.
way that we think.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Hmm.
that's our mentality is different. Also, the other issue is that we are not treated the same. Muhammad Ali won a gold medal for the United States and wasn't allowed to go into a cafe that was filled with Africans and Caribbeans. And Caribbeans and Africans were not treated like that. They were able to get haircuts as long as they were foreign. So that's a thing that I don't like that non-FBA do. They try to say, oh, yeah, we're all in the same struggle when we're not, because I don't feel that I'm Arab or Chinese. I would never get a haircut. I've seen situations where I could have said, oh, well, if they don't want Africans in there, then I'm not going to go. We're not the same, because a black American would be angry if they saw a sign that said no Africans allowed. They wouldn't even want to go in the store, but the Africans would go in the store if it said no black Americans allowed. So when you willingly come to a place, you can't say that you're on equal par with the people that have inherited this struggle. And I think that Tariq is a godsend because he has exposed groups that I didn't know people felt that way. I literally did not know that Africans taught their children to feel superior or to hate Black Americans. I didn't know Caribbeans did that same thing. I did not know they did that. So it provided some information to me.
Yes, drinking Irish moss Jamaicans does not make you a leprechaun. Please get out of that mindset. You will never be them, and you're never going to be them. Drinking Guinness does not make you an Irish person. Please get out of that mindset. But I don't know who's next. Go ahead.
Good job. I mean, good talk, people. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I guess if I drink a Heineken, I must be German, and huh? Please. Um, I've been watching this phenomenon for for 30 plus years. When I graduated high school and first went to college, my initial calculus teacher was a Nigerian woman, had the full garb on and everything. And the first words to from
No, I can't hear you, Black Voltron. Can y'all hear Black Voltron?
No.
Yeah, you
can
cut
you
out
hear
for
me?
a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that. When I first went to college, my Nigerian calculus teacher, the first word she said was, "You Akatas don't work hard." And the first thing we looked at her was like, "How the fuck do you know? You don't even know me. I'm a foundational Black American out here on the West Coast, Oakland, California. All right, my lineage goes back to Texas and Louisiana, and I could trace my lineage all the way back to the 1820s, 1810s. All right, one side of my family I could trace it back to 1795. When my first introduction to that other black person was "We don't work hard," and I didn't even know what the hell Al was at the time. I'm a youngster. We never had that hatred upon black people. In fact, at the time, we were very Pan Africanist. We thought, okay, black is black is black is black. All right, you a black person, I'm a black person. Hey, we up against this, and against team white supremacy. But as I went along, and I met another Jamaican brother. I guess I could. He ain't really a brother. He was more of a coon, who was in the Navy at the time. First thing, we're having the discussion, and then he started talking about, I'm just here to get these benefits. That's why I joined the Navy. To get the ROTC benefits. And we're talking about, well, you don't care about the black struggle, the Pan African struggle, against the system of white supremacy, blah 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 blah. He's like, man, I don't give a damn about that. I got to take care of my family. I'm out for me. And that was my first instance upon coming across a black immigrant saying they're not down with the black struggle. Off code, not B1. It's all about I got to get mine. Me, myself, and I. We've been dealing with this for the last 30, 40, 50 years since the Hart-Celler Immigration Act of 1965. And what you don't understand, I don't know if that brother's still in there, Big Daddy, whatever. This ain't no new thing. This is only new to y'all. You guys have grown up having disdain and disrespect for foundational Black Americans, me, us, our family, and that's bullshit. We haven't said anything to you. We figured, okay, well, let's just be on code. Maybe they still got a colonized mind. Let's give them an opportunity. Let's give them a chance. Let's give them a chance. For 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. And then finally, Tariq and Jason Black and Professor Black Truth were the first ones to start saying, enough of this nonsense. If these people ain't on code, then we need to let them go. And that's what started to break up this Pan Africanist thinking. Look, y'all feeling yourself after 2 years of us calling your coons out and calling these buck dancing sambos out. This is just 2 years. We've been putting up with this shit really for the last 100. If you count Marcus Garvey and his movement, wonder why he couldn't get it done in Jamaica because they was off code. He had to come to New York City. So I mean, people playing dumb and acting like, oh, we don't really do that. That's not how most Caribbeans are. Bullshit. Because this was in Atlanta, Georgia when I experienced this. All right, I've been around too. I travel around too, and it's the same goddamn mentality. You do not give a fuck about Foundation of Black Americans. We are less than, below you, beneath you. And we've always been. What, that old fucking bullshit ass fucking myth that Jamaicans work harder than Foundation of Black Americans? Negroes, how'd you get here? How the fuck did you get here then? So if you work so goddamn hard, if you work so goddamn hard, why didn't it work in your relative country? And why ain't you going back? That woman and that man on TV was getting ethered by Marcel and Tariq. Well, why don't you go back to your country since you work so hard and you so much better? How come you can't make this work in Haiti?
Black Voltron, not to cut
Yeah.
you off, but that lady, I dug into her history and I'll have it in my video. She said she wanted to go back and eventually become the president of Guyana. So
Uh huh.
at least she has a goal in mind. I don't see her winning it though.
Why didn't her black ass stay there and just become the president?
Say less.
Right. Exactly. Why did she keep her black ass over there and build a grassroots effort to become the
Because she
president of
knew that
Guyana?
the East Indians were never going to accept her, and
Hey,
that's
what
what I
about the
think. That's
blacks?
what she secretly was looking for.
So you gonna come to America because you couldn't build a groundswell of grassroots effort and get them East Indians the fuck up out of there, get them Asians the fuck up out of there? You know, the price of freedom is blood, sweat, and tears. All right, and death. To me, it don't seem like these off-code immigrants are really to make that sacrifice. That's why they flee, they run, they tethers. You know, and they just leech off foundational Black Americans. And you goddamn right, we got a right to be fucking pissed off. So we've had enough of this bullshit. Decades and decades and decades of hearing the same silly ass fucking tropes of how bad the white supremacist tropes of how bad foundational Black Americans are. Nah, it's a new era now. That bullshit is over with. All right, hey, bruh, Big Daddy, you don't like how we talking? You don't like how Tariq's talking? So fucking what? We've been hearing this shit for goddamn 50 years. You gonna take some of this shit too. Goddamn it, either we in it together or we going about our separate ways and you gonna be our enemy. But I'll be damned. Don't bring Tariq up into this. Shit, he was mild compared to what the fuck I gotta say.
And he
So
was
cut
on
all
and
that
he was
shit
on
out,
that
man.
TV station. He couldn't go in.
Yeah, I know, but even on his broadcast and stuff, he keeps it in reserve and stuff. You know, me not so much. I'm sorry. I've just seen too much disrespect from immigrants in my life, my personal life, to put up with that bullshit anymore. You goddamn right, I'm mad. I'm pissed off. And until you black immigrants prove yourself, like Kid Gravity Beyond, and TD Hip Hop, and others, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's like the white supremacists. You the enemy until proven otherwise. That's the way I look at it. I'm gonna land on that. Anybody got a problem? Just talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I lost the queue. I'm sorry, Nikki. I don't know if you saw it. I've been cooking, so I lost the queue.
I think it was Black Alpha, then Rich, and then I saw Jake and Mezzy 13.
Mix 13. Yeah. So
Okay.
Black
Mix
Alpha.
13.
Also, Wani had me post something in the jumbotron that she was trying to address, and I
Yeah.
think she was
Yeah.
waiting to address something. So I wanted to let her address that
Okay.
first.
All right. No problem. Go ahead, Wani.
Well, yeah, no, I said it before. I said if we're dealing with people that view themselves as Chinese people and Arab people, they're not going to act the same way that I'm going to act. We're not the same people. You don't know what's going on in some side someone's head just because they're brown or tan and they look like we do, but they're walking around on their knees to Arabs and Chinese people. The whole thing makes it confusing for them because I might encounter an Asian woman who thinks she can slap me upside the head even though I wouldn't be in their store, but they might think I'm going to go for that because others in the Caribbean have a different attitude and a different personality with them. They don't view them as other people, they view them as themselves. I wish somebody would address that, because that's a thing. And every time I bring it up, they go, "Oh no, that's not, no, we don't think we're Chinese." You do. You think you're Arab, you think you're East Indian, you think you're Chinese. I would like for you to address it, because that's one of the foundational reasons why we don't see eye to eye, and you don't believe anybody's racist, because you're all of those races in your mind, and you're not perceived that way here, and that is a problem for you. Maybe it'd be better to go somewhere where you could be perceived as this collection of different kinds of people. I wish somebody would address the fact that that is how you see yourself. Those are your mottos of your islands, and that is what's going on most of the islands.
After
Yeah.
after Rich,
Go ahead,
because
Black.
it would go Black Alpha then Rich. After Rich, there's definitely something that I want
And
to
then
say,
Jay.
and it's gonna piggyback. You said what?
No, I thought you were going through the queue.
Okay, I couldn't hear. Well, I mean, soon. I would say, well, after Jake, I guess. There's definitely something that I've been wanting to say for a while. Unfortunately, I'm driving, so I got to be selective with when I speak. But I wanted to piggyback off of what Wani, I want to piggyback off of what Wani said, because I feel like that needs to be discussed. That really does need to be discussed, and it's often overlooked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black Alpha, go ahead.
Peace and love, family. Peace, love, and liberation to everybody. This is a great space. Got to put that on the line right now for sure. Shout out to everybody. I got to get to the point though. I love how everybody's saying what they're saying. Everybody's speaking them facts and speaking the truth. So, I got to add a little Black Alpha race regulating, certified regulators. The main thing that Black people right here in this country we make, the biggest fuck up, is that we believe that non-FBAs think like we do. There's not a group of Black people on this planet that think how we think, okay? When we are on code and we are on our game, nobody thinks like that. For years, we thought everybody was on the same page. We thought they talked about the code. We thought they talked about supremacy. No, the fuck they don't. And all it takes is one person to travel this planet and you see the condition that Black people are living in. They're not living in the condition because they strong like us. They're not living in their conditions because they think like us, they move like us, they walk like us. We are different. We move different, we hit different, we act different. Our whole thought process is different. We are the face of Black people. We keep the lights on in this world. If it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, every nigga on this planet would be in fucking shackles. All right? Trust me when I tell you that shit. How you know? Because when you leave this country, they're basically living in shackles. They're getting their asses whooped in every single country, on every single continent on this planet. They don't do shit to everyone else that they do to us. We come with it. They know better. They watch their tone when they talk to us. These other groups, they're jealous. There's two words if you want to describe these tethers, okay? They're jealous and they haters. You know what I mean? Point blank. And jealousy is a powerful motherfucking drug. They cannot stand us because what we are. Anyway, as I was saying, these people are jealous of us. They hate us. They don't like the move that we on. They understand that when we make our moves, we do what we do, and we do it with leisure. We're free spirits. These people are still living in shackles. They cannot move and operate the same way foundational Black Americans do. When people think about us, when they think about a Black woman, they think about a foundational Black American woman. When they think about a Black man, they think about a foundational Black American man. Nobody's growing up wanting to be anybody in Africa, just being real. Nobody's growing up wanting to be somebody in Jamaica, just being real. When people look at us, they look at we being the face of this whole planet Earth. And these minions out here, you got to look at them as they are straight up and down minions of supremacy and blackface. And you got to treat a minion the same way you treat a supremacist. You cannot separate a minion and a supremacist. Their thought process, their mentality is exactly the same way the dominant society thinks. That brother was in here earlier. He sounded just like a supremacist. Well, we think maybe we could have a problem. Should, might be. Nah, dude, you know what the fuck you talking about. They lying. They lying through their fucking teeth, through their tether teeth. Okay, they fucking lying. They know about supremacy all day. Those people that were talking to Tariq and Marcel, them motherfuckers was fronting, lying, trolling, gaslighting. They were doing everything in the book. If you didn't know no better and you didn't hear them fucking accents, you would have thought that shit was Fox News. Because they knew they was fronting, they knew it was lying. Tariq and Marcel, they came with it, and they were being like Voltron saying, they were being reserved. I'm a little different. I'd have regulated the whole motherfucking thing, straight up and down. I'm not here to play with no tethers. Tethers are very serious. Okay, I'm not here to joke with them and make little trolling things with them. I'm coming to snatch them. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are very detrimental to our progress. And we got to put them on that G-check list. We got to put them right next to the leeches of color. We got to put that right next to the black and brown coalition. We got to put them right next to the dominant society because they play the same exact role. They don't like us. We are the people that they want to be, but they can't be. We're the people that they try to act like, but they try to front on. Everyone knows this. It's a game. We've been running around here since the 1950s, trying to play with these motherfuckers. But right now, this B1 era that we living in all today, we're circling that wagon and we checking everybody who's off code. And, unfortunately for them, they've been on that list and we G-checking them off that fucking list one by one. So anybody who's running around here thinking there's some type of unity with these people, they're not. They don't have nothing. I always say this, one of my mottos and one of my principles. If you deal with a community of black people and they don't have a term for the code, they don't have a term for fucking white supremacy. They don't have a term for they coons and they sellouts, they bootlicks. What do they call them? They got more smoke for Tariq Nasheed than they got for the dominant society. You can look on Twitter right now. Every week you see a goddamn Twitter space talking about FBA and Tariq Nasheed. They don't ever have none talking about the dominant society. And the dominant society is over there in their country. And not just white folks. Asian folks is over there. They've literally been colonized by everybody on the planet. They just taking turns. Go look up the Berlin conferences. If motherfuckers don't believe me, go look at the Berlin conferences. They sat down and they split up Africa. Run that back. Say it again. I can't hear you, brother. Say it again.
They gang banging them niggas. Real
exactly.
They keep it to the conversation, not to cut you off, brother. I'm just going to keep it short and simple.
Go ahead.
What could non-FBA do for FBA? Not a motherfucking thing.
There it is. I got you, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and land. I gotta get back to making this money, brother. So I gotta shoot, but I'm gonna let you get to it in a minute. All they do, they playing them like footballs. They passing them back and forth. Anybody who's traveled, you've seen it. They split these motherfuckers up and they pass them around. They have no backbone. They shameless. They have no concept of race. How we sit here right now, you got more black folks in this panel right now that understand white supremacy than half of these countries and continents put together. I know 15, 16-year-old black folks who got their minds together more than the damn 40, 50-year-old motherfucker on the continent all throughout the diaspora. I'm talking about the majority. That dude earlier who was sitting there talking about some of them are and all that minimizing shit. Nah, I'm not talking about the minority. I'm talking about the majority. I'm not talking about lesser. I'm talking about greater. The majority of them do not have their shit together. They are willfully ignorant. They practice complete cognitive dissonance, and they know exactly what the dominant society is doing. They just cool with it. They cool with it. Basically, they're a bunch of diaspora Clyburns, to be honest with you. They're a bunch of diaspora Herschel Walkers. This is how you got to deal with them. They're international coons, $2 tellers. They ain't worth the food stamp. Not near one of them. And when you see these people, you got to regulate them. You can't play nice with them. You can't joke with them. You can't sit here and play patty cake. It ain't got no means to do that shit. You got to come with them thoroughly, and you got to let them know. Foundational Black Americans, we are on our own game. We focus on our own shit. They can't do nothing like the brother right here, as you said. They can't do nothing for us at all. They can't assist with the how can they help us get reparations? The best way they can do it is get the fuck out the way. That's what they can do. If you want to help FBA, sit your ass down. Point blank. If you a rider and all that, that's cool. A rider's going to show themselves the same way a fuck motherfucker going to show themselves. So if you ain't real, you need to sit your ass down and just get out the way. Simple as that. We don't need nobody's help. Last time I checked, we got everywhere we are right here today by doing it on our own. I don't need no new recruits. We got all the riders we need. We got all the soldiers we need. The real one's going to expose themselves and the fake one's going to fall to the wayside. That's just it. Bottom line, you got to snatch them up. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no help. I mean, basically, if we out here looking for tether help, we'd be in a bad situation. Bad situation. Remember this. If you bring in one rider, then a bunch of them other ones are going to try sleaze in. And next thing you know, you're going to have a bunch of people you can't identify. We don't need no tethers on our side at all because they don't have that same access. They don't ride on their coons. What word do they call their sellouts? What word do they call their coons? What word do they call their bootlicks? I know they say Akata all the time. They don't have no word for that. You guys know to say always cape for all the coons in their community. They never, ever, ever say any bad things about them. They come with excuses. Well, they don't understand what they're really trying to say. And some of them do, some of them don't. Bullshit. They know exactly what's going on. How do you know they know? They over there swimming in bleach. Look at all the cake soap they got going on. Matter of fact, if you ever go look and you Google the statistics of skin bleaching cream, you'll see that shit is sold in predominantly black countries all over the world, and not one of those countries is the United States.
That was a mistake. Stuff. I was trying to press another button. Go ahead, Black Alpha. I'm sorry. Unmute yourself.
It's all good. I appreciate it. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we got to regulate them straight up and down. The trolling is cool. The jokes is cool. But when you call them out, man, just call them out with fire. Let them know something. Let them know when you get this tap, don't come back around no more. You know what I'm saying? Stay on your side of the fence. We're going to stay on our side of the fence because it's been proven, documented, evidentiary, fact, framed, stamped, signed, and sealed that none of these people have foundational Black American interests. And quite frankly, we don't want their help. I'm not even asking for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to land my plane right there. Everybody, peace up. FBA, B1 certified Black society. We all we got. And that means we don't need no tethers neither. One love.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
let
Hey,
me address
did
something.
Melanated Wolf talk?
Let me address something real quick. Melanated Wolf, can you please raise your hand if you would like to speak? Do you know how to raise your hand by pressing the heart button? Are you there, Melanated Wolf?
Hey, let's just go forward.
I would like to
Um,
also address something. I would kind of also like to keep the conversation, like move it back to reparations, because it's we're getting to an understanding where we know that whoever is with us, they're with us, and if they're against us, they're against us, and we're going to have to do what we have to do to help ourselves. We get that. But we do have a small amount of people who are non-FBA who are definitely allies. But there's a small amount. So the ones who are allies and who we would not refer to as tethers because they have not yet shown signs of cooning, what what can you guys do to assist us with reparations? What do you think you can do to assist us with reparations?
yes, ma'am.
And who's next? Was it Rich? Who's next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rich. Unmute yourself, Rich.
After Rich, I need to go because I'm gonna be gone for a little bit, so I'm not gonna be able to speak.
You want to go now and then you want to go now and then Rich? Go ahead.
No, no, Rich can go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real short and sweet because me and Black Alpha we're hosting a space tonight at 8:30, so I'm gonna save all the smoke I have for that space. But what I will say is, man, stop letting people come in and talk dumb to you, man. I wasn't here for what that dude had to say. I heard a little bit of what he had to say, but I'm not that type of person to, judge somebody. And I didn't hear everything they had to say. I want to hear everything you have to say because that's how I judge you. But stop. All I can say is from what he did say is based on what I heard him say. All I can say about that is stop letting people talk dumb to you, man. These people, this is what they do for a living. They play the same game. The same game white supremacists play is the same game they play. Later on today, me and Black Alpha, we're gonna hold that space. I'm gonna address that Fox interview. I'm gonna address everything, and I just wanted to let you guys know to stop letting people talk dumb to you. This is what they do for a living. They the same thing white supremacists do is the same thing they do. They talk dumb to you. They talk to you like you're a child. They make it seem like the problem is smaller than it is. And you know damn well the problem is huge. The cooning going on in Africa, the cooning going on in the Caribbean, we know it's big as hell, but they're making it seem like it's just this small minority of people that's cooning over there, and that's what they do. They play dumb. But I'm gonna let my brother Afro go. I'll see you guys tonight at 8:30.
See you.
Okay, yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely looking forward to that space. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, to piggyback, I want to say what I first said when I first popped up in the room. We need our on code non FBA brothers and sisters to be on these tethers ass. We need y'all to be on these tethers ass harder than we are. Unfortunately, we as Foundation Black Americans, we're the only people who really address the coons collectively. You do have some non-FBAs here and there who do it, but collectively we're the ones who do it, or at least we're the ones who initiate it being done. We need our non-FBA brothers and sisters to be doing it before we even get a chance to do it. I need to just open up my Twitter app and see y'all dragging them before I even get a chance to do it. But I need to be asking y'all, like, damn, what did they do? Like, y'all need to be the ones beating them up. Figuratively, of course, I'm not advocating any violence on Twitter. I'm saying figuratively, y'all need to be the ones doing that, not us.
Afro,
Um,
could I say this
because
real,
that one dude.
I say this real quick, Afro?
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Real quick. I came in here for him. He ran. I don't know where he went. I came in here
Hmm.
specifically for him. Whenever you see a non-FBA dude, please call me, man. Just call me. Just
Hmm.
DM me. Call me because I like people say, "Oh, Rich go hard on Black American women." If you think I go hard on Black American women, you should see how hard I go on my own. I don't play games. I The gloves are off when it comes to non-FBA folks. When you see them somewhere and they talking dumb to you, you DM me and you call me and I come check them. I put my fist up their ass. I'll do it. Please call me. I came in here exactly for that dude, but he. But whenever they talk dumb, call me, please. And go ahead, Afro.
Not
Yeah,
fist up
exactly.
their
And
ass.
I wanted to reference that one space that I hosted. It was about the anti-black racism in the Hispanic community, and then we had a Haitian who came up and he was talking about the issues with the border, and then he started talking about how FBA woman spit on his mom and he was treated racist by FBA people, and Rich, who is a Haitian. Rich was on his ass about that. Rich was harder on him than I was. I didn't even really have to do anything. I just got to chill back, recline my chair, and pop some popcorn. I was just sipping. Chilling. I was just chilling, sipping on the drink, just watching Rich do his thing because Rich is a Haitian, so Rich can attack him or Rich can address him. Let me not use the word attack. Rich can address him from a different angle than I can. Now I can address him from an FBA angle, but Rich can address him from a Haitian angle because when he talks about, oh no, we don't teach our families to have disdain or have hatred for FBA, and Rich can be like, yeah, yes, that is what happens. That's what happens in the Haitian household, and just like what Kid Gravity and Jason Reed was talking about, how they literally in their house have a conversation about don't mess with the foundation Black Americans, don't mess with Black Americans, don't associate with them, stay away from them. Now when foundation Black Americans say that, they all act dumb, like, what? Oh, I've never heard of that. We don't do that. We love you guys. We have so much respect for you guys. You're making that up. But when another Jamaican and another Haitian say, yeah, actually that does happen because my parents told me that. So they're not lying. That's the angle that you guys can play. When it comes to reparations, most of the time, the naysayers of reparations, we're just gonna have to tell it like it is. Most of the naysayers for reparations are tethers, and the dominant society brings them over here for that purpose, so they can be like the infiltrators in Black society, and that's why we need our brothers and sisters from the diaspora who are on code to be on their ass and be all like, well, you know what? First off, it would make no sense to not support them getting reparations, and that's not our business anyway. Anytime Tether comes in having a dishonest conversation about, well, what about free education? Well, why don't all Black people get it? And what about this? And what about that? They need to be on their ass to shut them down. They need to be putting them in their place because we can do it and we have been doing it, and that's why they're mad. But if they want to be true assist, they need to be doing it before we do it. That's to me is how a non-FBA person earns their stripes. They get them before I get them. I don't need them to be the backup. I need them to already have them down on the ground and say, "Hey, Afro, you want to get in on this?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, you already started, so let me get my kicks in." Figuratively, of course. I'm not advocating any violence. You know what I'm saying? Figuratively. And I land there.
Thank you so much, Afro. Are you leaving temporarily or permanently?
Temporarily, I'm not gonna leave the room. I'm just not gonna be able to speak for a minute.
Okay. All right. I'm going to call on the next speaker. Let's see who was next. I'm pretty sure it was Jake who was next. And then after that would be MIGZZ13. And then after that, Riviera Error. Okay. Riviera. Wait, let me take a look here. Okay. Okay, so the next person, Jake, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, like the sister said, she want to touch on reparations. Reparations is something that we absolutely need, and we need that to take back our community, far as you know, running people out of our community from building these corner stores, getting millions and millions and millions of dollars because we need that. All they do is send that money overseas to build their country, and ours becoming more decadent as time go on. Secondly, how can non-FBAs help us? They can't do a motherfucking thing for us at all. And they proved it. They even proved it in the street life. And now I'm gonna speak figuratively. I'm gonna speak figuratively. And a perfect example, when they start getting their numbers together and start getting away with certain shit, they come for us. They come for us. And there was a time, figuratively, far back as I could remember, but I can't remember, but far back as I could remember, we had to dismantle them. We had to take their boss and put them in a motherfucking bandit house and beat them for days, feed them peanut butter to stay alive. Figuratively, I land my plane.
Whew. Yeah, I had to leave the room with my kid in it, man. You went off. All right, I'll say less. But say what you got to say.
Okay, next will be MIGZZ13.
Yes, thank you, sister. No, I just wanted to say, I mean, in response to what it is that non-FBA individuals can do for FBA with regards to reparations, I think just to piggyback off of what everyone's saying, I think that the best thing that non-FBA can do is to not hurt any initiatives with regards to any pushes for reparations. A, because you're standing in soil where the claim is not yours, and you can show respect in trying to fight for that claim if you're black. And you also have your own claims in, with regards to, like I said, CARICOM and other places where you could put your claim in. Now, the one thing I will address in terms of, stepping up and representing your FBA brothers and sisters is it's going to be a sacrifice, and you're going to lose a lot of your community with regards to standing with your foundational brothers and sisters. I mean, I can tell you personally, I have lost family members. I have lost, folks that, I'm married to a foundational Black American woman, and I have two children. I have family members that have never seen my children. All right, they literally treat you and outcast you like you would be like almost like you married interracially and it wasn't agreed upon and things of that nature. So I mean, if you're a non-FBA and you call yourself trying to represent or trying to back your FBA brethren, know that it's going to come with a price of you sacrificing that part of your enclave that's just not going to see, eye to eye with you. And this has happened, and this is something that I'm sure that the folks that are non-FBA can speak to with regards to speaking out on behalf of the FBA brethren. You're going to lose some family members. You're going to lose a lot of people in your community just based on the fact that you stand as B1 and you're standing for what it is with regards to black people and not sectioning yourself or isolating yourself into the enclave. I literally at my wedding had two separate weddings, you can say, so to speak, as in the sense of folks were sectioning themselves off and not wanting to interact with my FBA family. I personally find grave problem with that. I think that's a huge problem on a personal level. But I think that if at this point in time, just don't hurt the initiative that is being put forth right now for folks to get what it is that they deserve. I'll land my plane.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, Sincere. Are you on a time limit, Sincere?
Nah, I'm good. I think Big Zilla. I think Big Zilla's up.
Um, Riviera Error is up, and then Beatzilla. But if
Oh,
you,
I'm at work. Go ahead.
but I understand your work. I understand that you work, and so that's why I asked you if you were on a time limit because I was gonna let you go next if you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick anyway, man. I'm just gonna let this play for y'all, man, just to break up some of the
Okay,
monotony.
so we're gonna
Yeah.
let Sincere go real quick, and then we're gonna get back in queue.
All right, man. Y'all can enjoy this real quick. Africans, Caribbeans, essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, Native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. This for the
Bitch
10th
ass
class.
nigga, turn your motherfucking speaker off, you faggot.
You, but we gotta provide some order. I know
Get that nigga up out of the place.
they want you not to.
Nigga,
Does it
listen,
sound
listen,
bad?
y'all. I ain't finna. I ain't see.
Does it sound
See,
bad?
No, 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 no. Hold up. Who just did the cursing? Who?
no, that I got him up out of here. Like, come on, bro. See, what? It's always got to be
Who just
niggas.
did
I
that?
don't get this. Why? Okay, the
I
man
thought,
playing
I
the
thought,
thing through his phone. All right, we got it in the
I thought,
No,
jumbotron. You go click it here in 1080p. It's always got to be some Negro.
I
I
thought
can't
the
even have a
sound was
productive
messed up or
space
something. We good?
without some BS.
wait. Was
Man,
it
you know what?
James who just did
You know
that?
what, man?
It was
Most of y'all ain't
Jay.
gonna make it. I'm just gonna say it now. Y'all go straight to hell.
Oh no, no. When Sincere comes up on any stage I'm on, he's gonna speak. And if I let him speak, he's gonna speak, whether he's playing his music or not. He's gonna get his chance
Nah,
to
it
go.
ain't
So go
sincere. It's
ahead.
the dude that I kicked out. Like,
Any
come on.
place
So you
I
don't
am,
like his music?
he's gonna be
Come
speaking.
on.
All right,
That
go
was
ahead,
that
Sincere.
was uncalled for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. I thought the sound
Man,
was
run
messed
that
up or
shit back
No,
something.
like Flex. Run that
no.
back
You
like
ain't doing
Flex.
nothing wrong. You wherever I am, you gonna be too. So
Yo,
go
sincere,
ahead.
run it back like Flex, bro.
Yeah.
Let's, well, let's
Run it
get it
back
there.
like Flex. Drop a
Let's get
bomb
it
on him.
there. Africans, Caribbeans, essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, Native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. This for the 10th class. Not for the riders in the diaspora. No disrespect to you, we gotta provide some order. I know they told you stay away from being tied up. My mama should have warned you not to play with being tied up. We the gangster boys. And I'ma say this shit frankly, boy. My family built this fucking country. You should thank me, boy. This black man don't do me. What I got outside, keep that shit in your country and don't bring it to me, casa. All this colorism and these racial caste systems, all across Asia, the darkest ones be the victims. India, they untouchable. They mean that shit literal. Here in the U.S., so you we unfuckwittable. Exceptional people, respect to the Negro. Before you get your green card, we double checking your ego.
Hot 97, blazing hip hop and R&B.
I appreciate y'all, man.
I just wanted to say something. It wasn't very clear, like the sound wasn't clear. So what I did was I retweeted it because that is a banger, and it's about the tether class. It sounds better than most music you will hear. I have
I
a
did not like that Takata.
yeah. This man is talented. I am around him because he is just an amazing person. So I want y'all to go look on my profile. It was the last thing I tweeted. When you get a chance, take a listen to it, and you will be able to appreciate it better if you just
Thanks,
click on
Nikki.
it. Yeah, and
Thank you,
listen
Nikki.
to it. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. And yeah, man, it's really just a snippet, man. It's gonna be a full song, so y'all could stay tuned for that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Power 1051. Let's keep it moving. B Zilla, go ahead.
All right, man. Peace to everybody. Thanks, Kid Gravity, Afro Elite, and Nikki. Shout out to everybody on the
We
stage
won.
and everybody in the room. Black first, black first, black first. So I guess addressing the topic of the room, how can non-FBA assist FBA and Freedmen with reparations? Number one, I guess, is for those who are unclear about where our political position is, acquaint themselves with this new black media space to get a good understanding. And there's so much of a variety, but one thing that we are all still stressing is the code. Um, so you'll always be able to get an idea of where foundational Black Americans are coming from, where we came from. Now, as a little personal tidbit of information, in my family, I literally have, after, in my family, there are Jamaicans that came to America right after Jamaica was liberated in the 1830s. So you have Black folks that were here in America, from Jamaica, that were intermingling. They came here to join in with the Maroons and foundational Black Americans. So you might have some Jamaican blood over with the Gullah Geechees, because these people came up here as soon as they got liberated. They came a very small number, but they came here as riders. So, if nothing else, a lot of people come into these spaces and they don't know the history of a lot of these free Jamaican slaves that came up here, came directly on up to America and married in to foundational Black American culture. These people are on like the 1850, 60, and 70 census. So, a lot of people don't know that. These are the type of people to whom you need to kind of adopt
But
that
you said they
spirit
came in
of.
the 30s?
18 no 18 no, they were liberated in 1830. Slavery was abolished in 1830 in Jamaica. So
And
after
they
that,
came up and they came up here and blended in.
yes, yes,
Those
indeed
are
they did.
FBAs, man.
Those are foundational Black Americans, absolutely. So for that's what I'm saying, my own personal
No, they're
testimony with that.
not. They're still Jamaicans.
Well, no, they're Jamaicans that came in here and moved
They're
in
not.
here,
Why
but
does everybody just say they're foundational Black Americans?
Can I
So
can
if
well,
I
I
elaborate
move
on that?
over,
no,
hold on
first
a
let
second.
first
Hold
first let,
on.
I
Hold
wasn't
on.
done.
If I
I
move
wasn't
over to
done.
Australia and my people move over to Australia in the eight.
Let the brother finish. Let the brother finish. I'll give you a chance to rebuttal this. Let the brother finish.
Now, what I'm saying is this: when you coming up here that early, marrying in, all of those offspring are still foundational Black Americans. That is undebatable. I'm not calling her who came here foundational Black American, because that, of course, doesn't make sense since I just clarified her as a Jamaican. But they were here on the census, so anybody they predate some foundational Black Americans on the American census. That's all I'm telling you, clarifying just a fact. But with that being said, my point is the writers of these Caribbean and other nations that came over here to actually get down with foundational Americans, Marcus Garvey, Stokely Carmichael, these type of individuals, that spirit is what we need right now to deal with our reparations claim. Because you guys have reparations claims, your own rights in your own land. If we get it first, we set the tone and the precedence for all the other people to get their paper to where they need to get it from. So, no, please don't ever confuse my words with anything else. I understand how other people can receive it, but no, that's a Jamaican intermingling in. So, yes, they would be, but when their children are by a foundational Black American and all of these other people down the line are foundational Black Americans, that's a foundational Black American in 2022. And I'll land my plane.
May I respond?
Please, sis, because that was.
So yeah, he's not. Nobody is going to predate Black Americans. We were here first, and Jamaicans are not predating anything, sir. They still have immigration papers. Irish people that came over here have immigration papers. No one is predating us. I don't get to go over to Australia, have some children, and then I get to be Aboriginal. That doesn't make any sense. And you shouldn't have brought up Marcus Garvey because he was against Black Americans. He said that we shouldn't ride on the train because we had nothing to do with the building the railroad, and we had everything to do with building the railroad. We have 50,000 patents between slavery and the 1940s. So he was against Black Americans Everything he did, he wrote to the KKK. He wrote to a white supremacist named Ernest Severe Cox, calling us lazy and basically trying to get us away from the United States, probably because that's what white people wanted us to do. White people have been trying to make all black people leave the United States. Just like one of the second things on the reparations for Caribbeans is that they all go back to Africa. That's one of the reparations demands, by the way. Go look it up. The 10 demands of reparations
Ooh,
for
Lord.
CARICOM is that they all go back to Africa. Well, if you want to go and that's your business, but don't
Ma'am, you
micromanage
totally
me.
deterred from my point altogether.
No, I didn't. You're
No,
not
she
going to
didn't.
force team people into
I'm
my
not
people's
forcing
money.
anybody in
Yes,
it.
you
What
did.
I was
Yes,
answering the
you
question
did.
on how
Yes, you did.
non-FBAs,
You did
and you
force
got
teaming in.
emotional, and you went straight
I'm
to an
not
emotional
emotional.
rant.
I'm
It doesn't
forceful.
have
I'm
anything to do
forceful.
with the point I
I'm
just made.
forceful and I'm factual. You're
No,
not
you
forcing
interrupted me,
anybody
which
in.
showed your emotion.
No, you're force teaming a group of people in and trying to erase my lineage. I have the right to
I'm a
defend
foundational
myself.
Black American as
Not
well. What are
right
you
now.
talking about?
Well,
And you
then you
said
don't
other
know your
people
history.
predated us in this country, sir. That
Oh
needed
my
to be
Then you
goodness,
corrected.
y'all
don't know
That's
your
listening
not a
skills are
history.
reason.
horrible.
You
Y'all
don't
weren't
know your
listening.
history and you're trying to
Y'all wasn't
throw our
listening at
history
all.
in the garbage.
Jesus Christ, that's not what he said. Now you're gonna make me have him repeat it again and slow the room down. Why don't you be adults and ask him to re-clarify what he said if there was something you missed or you didn't hear? What we're not gonna do is have people sit there and argue in a space where I'm trying to keep it positive. I ain't like these other rooms. And if y'all wanted to take it there, I can end it. Y'all can start your own. Y'all can argue amongst yourselves. Now I'm gonna let y'all have the choice on how you want to run it.
Yeah, so it's not an argument. She was literally being very calm and stating her point. She was stating her point very calmly. It wasn't an argument or any of those things. So he interrupted her rudely and told her that she was emotional and having a rant. When I wrote down what he said, and
You mean like when she interrupted him while he was talking?
he absolutely said that having a child, like he absolutely said that they predated us on the census. That he absolutely said that. That's why I raised my hand. I raised my hand when he brought up Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey actually was not working with Black Americans. He actually stole from Cali House, a Black American, right? So that's why I raised my hand, because I was listening intently.
Well, first off,
Okay.
what we're not gonna do, you're gonna hold your attitude. I don't know who you think I am. I don't play them games.
Yeah, I don't have an attitude, sir.
No. So what did you just call that?
That was called passion,
No,
because
no,
I
no,
would,
no, no. We're not doing
yeah,
that. Take that
yeah.
bullshit
But
argument away.
no one's
That's not
arguing though.
passion. Don't
No one's
ease
arguing.
yourself.
You're the only
Ease
person
yourself,
arguing.
ma'am. Ease yourself, or you
Can
can
I
get the hell out the
reiterate my
room.
point?
You can get
Can
the
I
hell
read
out.
it?
Like real
can I
talk.
can I reiterate my point? Just
You're never
because
going to replace me,
no,
sir.
I really wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the host. Um, and again, like we saying, as I'm speaking, I'm getting interrupted. So I mean, I don't know what we're talking about here. But if I
We're
can talk
talking
in
about
uninterrupted,
Mm.
ethnocide. We're talking about
no, that's
ethnocide
not.
and
You
your
are. I
attempt
hear
to
you.
erase my
And no,
lineage.
that's not at all what I said. But back to what my point is. I can see emotions are high and triggers are very much easily strung. So I'll try to say it without triggering anyone. Not that I am making a Jamaican who is on the census predate you as a foundational Black American. That person is as a Jamaican on that census. So I totally get that they have those papers. What I'm saying is their offspring with foundational Black Americans are foundational Black Americans today. That doesn't change that. If that does in your mind, then I guess that's where we agree to disagree. But by no means was I saying it, because there clearly are people here on the census. If they're on the census, I don't know what to tell you. But they're there as a Jamaican. They're not there as a foundational Black American. They're there as a Jamaican national. So I don't know what more to tell you. But that's not trying to intermingle somebody into your reparations claim. My point here is The people who come to get down, like the person who's holding this space right now, which obviously you must have some smoke for, and that's not coming out yet, but it's coming out towards me. Um, with this type of vibe, he's holding down the black first space, just being black first. That's all I'm saying. If you want to be a non-FBA, here's the best way to assist us is keep the energy of getting down with our cause as some of your ancestors did. That's all I'm saying. Don't take too much out of that and make it something else, please. That's all I was saying. So, landing my point.
Yeah, I don't have any smoke for anyone. I came up here to say that Marcus Garvey was never for Black Americans. He actually worked against Black Americans. So any non-FBAs don't follow the footsteps of that ancestor because he actually worked against us and stole from us.
Yes, ma'am. Black Ultron, you are up. Go ahead.
All right, appreciate it, Kid Gravity. Just want to reset everything. We're getting lost, we're majoring in the minors again, getting lost in minutia. I think the question is, how can non-FBA assist FBA? Freedmen with the reparations. Follow our lead. You see what we're doing. You see our reparations claim, and like previous speakers have said, you know, we're shooting to get our claim. Start, we're making progress out here in California, but we need your support. We need you to use every resource you can to, get the word out, and most importantly, call out your coons, just like we do. We have the Jesse Lee Petersons. We have the Thomas Souls, and ad nauseum. Even the Herschel Walkers and stuff. Raphael Warnocks, two coons of different stripes, but they're both coons. On every level, we need y'all to call out the Winsome Sears. We need you to call out the other coons out here who are working in the interests of not only foundational Black Americans, but of non-foundational Black Americans. We need y'all to do the work. We need you to do your part, and we need to see tangible results. So every single time there is an attack on foundational Black Americans, you need to have our back. You need to cover us. You need to support us. You know, and if that means getting into it with your families, so be it. This is a war, and if you ain't ready to take no casualties, you ain't ready to fight. Maybe you need to get out of it. We need soldiers here. People are gonna willing to stand up and take the blows, take the bullets, take the bombs. You know, that's all. Land my plane on that.
All right.
I'm just looking
Um,
at you to see who all did not speak. Did Riviera speak? Because I kind of feel like he was supposed to speak. And oh, okay. So it's Sincere who has his hand up. Anyone who wants to speak, can you please raise your hand just in case I missed you? I'm not trying to ignore anyone. It's just that I admit I did look away for a second. So if you were trying to speak and you had an intent to speak, just raise your hand so I can get to you next. So I see Sincere has his hand raised. If anyone else would like to speak, you are more than welcome. Just let me know. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I just wanted to say, Beatzilla, I did understand the point that you was making, and I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Foundational Black Americans. Part of what makes us unique is, we are a combination of people who are already here on this land, people who were brought here later on through the slave trade, and some of the explorers that came even before that, and like you said, some of the people that came during antebellum slavery. At this point, their offspring that are alive now are foundational Black Americans. I agree with that. But I did have another suggestion um, for non-FBAs and what y'all could do to help as far as the reparations is concerned. Can some of y'all kind of infiltrate some of these spaces, since they like to utilize y'all to undermine us, since they like to elevate y'all and give y'all platforms, You know what I'm saying? To work against us. Can't some of y'all pretend to be tethers and get into some of these spaces? Like homeboy that was on the California task force who was talking like he was sounding like us for a minute, and then when it came time to vote, he voted against us. Can't y'all do the opposite of that? You know what I'm saying? Like pretend to be a tether, and then when it's time to vote, vote for that goddamn reparations.
Fair point. That's a very fair point. But I know a
Okay.
lot of us ain't gonna do that. They won't do that. I think a lot of us. I'm gonna say the Caribbeans and Africans. They need a lot of us need to be in a group to feel like we got a voice somewhere. Like y'all know me. I'll go in any group and go espouse my opinion. So y'all point me to them non-FBA rooms where they say F y'all. I'll go in there and act like I'm with it, and then I'll start asking questions, and then they'll kick me out, of course. But I'll do it. But we know a lot of Caribbeans don't have enough nuts to go stand and say, hey, y'all need to lay off. If you don't want to help them, get out the way. If you do want to help them, make it abundantly clear so there's no ambiguity. But again, a lot of them they rather go buddy up to white people and get a scam going. So you know, you're gonna have to keep searching.
I'm gonna have to just move some people down because there's some who don't have their hand raised and they're not saying anything, and there's some people who are trying to get up. So I'm gonna move just a couple people down, and you could come back up if you want.
All right, April, go ahead, and then I'll go to TFM.
Hey, hey, peace, power, and reparations to the people. So the question: how can non-FBA assist FBA and Freedmen with reparations? I think that first and foremost, is having an understanding of what the goal really is, right? What reparations includes, right? Because it's not just a check, right? A lot of people think that it's all just about money, right? So one there, as well as knowing and well learning and knowing what being an ally means and how allyship works, right? Allyship doesn't work with anyone telling us what we should do, thinking that they should sit at the table of anything that we have to do. That's not how allyship works. Also, understanding that helping is really the right thing to do, right? And not thinking that we need y'all to help us because we don't. We're not the minority. We outnumber y'all 9 to 1. So the reality is why are you doing it? Right? What is your why? Are you doing it because it is the right thing to do? Are you doing it because it makes you feel good? Are you doing it because you want to say that you are an ally? Why are you doing it? Right. So consider all of those things because I do feel that a lot of times non-FBAs want to speak for us. We saw that in AB 3121 time and time again, where they wanted to be, they wanted to speak for us. Instead of speaking with us, right? There is a difference. We don't need you to direct anything. We don't need that. We are very capable. We are a brilliant people. We are a resilient people. We are an elite group of people, right? And I think respecting that, understanding that, and really being honest with why you want to help and assist Black American descendants of chattel slavery and Jim Crow laws. I'll land at that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Let me get TFM. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, host, for allowing me to speak in this Twitter space. Um, I think it's really important that non-FBAs actually be allies with FBAs and also defend our FBA brothers and sisters, um, and also push the fight for reparations because injustice to one black person is injustice to all of us because white supremacy does not stop it doesn't stop wherever you are, wherever country you are. It does not stop. And especially like white supremacy has affected foundational Black Americans for over 400 years. And it's so sickening and it's so sad that like pieces of diaspora have been their minds have been colonized by the colonizers, and like to the point where they're attacking our own brothers and sisters right here in Black America. Um, the way in which I guess non-FBAs can help is just to stand by you guys. You guys take the lead, and whatever economic support that we can give, whether it be in our own countries, to make sure that you guys have something abroad and even in America, like whatever we can do to just economically empower you guys, help you guys get your money, help you guys get more land, help you guys do whatever you guys do to really just overrule this disgusting system. Like that's as best and that's the only way best we can. But I know that you guys take the lead, and I'm grateful and really glad that you guys have exuded excellence throughout these past decades.
Yes, sir. Live stream, go ahead.
Really quick to what the brother was saying earlier about information in so many words. In war, intelligence is mandatory. So it would be nice to have help. We don't absolutely need them, but we do need information. So wherever we can get that, we need to get that and keep that shit on lock in terms of where else it gets to. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you for allowing me to talk.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Um, let's see. April, go ahead. April, go ahead. Beatzilla, you're on the mic.
All right. Kind of just to piggyback on what April said about allyship and kind of carving out how that looks. So a lot of people have said information. I absolutely agree with that. Another part of it is I would like to know, like when you went through your immigration process, what was said to you about foundational Black Americans? That part would help us know a lot. And then also letting us know about the kind of different set asides that immigrants are getting that we don't know about. All that little extra bank loan money that they be handing out, willy nilly to anybody who come here. All of that type of stuff, that would be very helpful information to us, especially getting our reparations. It helps our argument. So that little tidbit right there, information is precious, and that kind of intel to let us know what the government is saying is hands down. We need to know that ASAP. And I'll end my plane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you all. Thank you all. Miss April, go ahead.
And thank you for bringing me back up. I don't know what I was thinking. It's 150 people in here. So we do have two petitions. Freedmen and FBA and Black Americans. I'm going to post them in the Jumbotron. The first one is Say No to HR 40, pass Bill 1865, which was written from our dear brothers out there from NASD in California. As well as we do have a petition against the anti. Demanding an executive order for an anti-black hate crime bill. So I'm going to put both of those up. We need, Black Americans, of course, but definitely to answer the question, this is one way that you can assist with the fight of Black Americans. So I'm going to post the other one up there as well. I apologize for not mentioning it the first time, and thank you for bringing me back up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that information. Let's see. Anybody else want to speak? If not, then I'm gonna start wrapping the space up.
Shout out to you, brother, for hosting this space, and again, shout out to all of y'all and the speakers. No hard feelings, I hope. So I'll just say my piece, and man, y'all have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So I guess I will end it a little early. Before I go, like Black Alpha and Rich said, they're hosting a space 8:30, right, Rich?
Yeah, 8:30. I'm addressing. I'm
Wait,
Yeah.
address. Go ahead, Nikki.
wait, Rich. Before we end the space, who's going to host it? You or Black Alpha?
Both. I'm
Black Alpha, I
co-hosting.
think.
I'm co-hosting. He's hosting.
Okay, so did he already schedule the space? Because you could post it in a jumbotron.
Yeah. Yeah. Do that. Oh, we got two more speakers. Okay, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
end it just yet.
it's
I,
it.
I'm back, y'all. I'm put it in the jumbotron for you.
I
Yeah, do that
appreciate
because
that.
I'm technically handicapped, so you could do that. But I just wanted to say, at during the space, I'm addressing everything, every little thing. So you're welcome to join us. Anybody can come in and join us. I'm addressing everything. I'm addressing that Fox interview. I'm addressing the Democrats. I'm addressing Uncle Luke. I'm addressing everything. So I hope to see you guys there.
Yes, sir. Uh, so let me get live stream and then black creative black artists. So live stream, go ahead.
Sorry that took so long. Another way that the non-foundationals can help is to not completely follow our lead. Stop waiting on us. I've been reading this book on art of war called what is it again? How to Fight Like a Zombie or what have you. And one of the marks that it takes is that zombies don't wait for a cue from a commander or anything like that. They do what they need to do. They know who the enemy is in mass, and they do what is necessary wherever they are to get things going or get things done, even, which is basically just take out the enemy by any means necessary. We're humans, though, so we can do that in far more complex ways. But yeah, stop waiting on us. Start doing work where you are. If you really want to make the world better, like, duh. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you for allowing me to talk again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. And get creative black artists. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you for allowing me to speak. I want to shout out to Afro Elite, Miss April Showers, Miss Wani, Black Voltron that was in the room earlier. I just wanted to add my last 2 cents since you guys were shutting it down.
I think you cut yourself off.
I think his phone might have rang.
No, I got it said I was now muted. But
You okay? Are you okay?
yeah, I'm okay. It popped up. I was now muted, so I don't
Because
know
I was just hearing you give your shout outs. I
Yeah,
was just
that
wondering
was
if you were
weird.
okay.
Yeah, so my normal handle is Great King Black State. I'm on this one because I got a 12-hour suspension for engaging with another man, white dude who couldn't handle the truth. I'm gonna post that as soon as I get my account back, so everybody can tap into that to see exactly what I said. None of it was egregious or threatening in any way, shape, or form. It was just the facts. So but at any rate, in this conversation, I wanted to get the last 2 cents in. Malcolm X talked about the field Negro and the house Negro, and I really think that applies to what we see going on in this particular discussion, where you have the non-FBAs who, in my opinion, are operating as the house Negro in Black American society, and the FBAs or the field Negroes in every way, shape, and form, the warrior class. So I wanted to highlight that. And then someone brought up Marcus Garvey. So I have a connection to Martin Delaney, um, who had some he built a bunch of businesses in the town that I grew up. But also, I want to mention these fellows: Prince Hall, Martin Delaney, Edward Wilmot Blyden, and Henry Highland Garnett. They were all previous to Marcus Garvey. They all talked about, including the African diaspora into some global, coalition of sorts. And Martin Delaney is the person who actually said Africa for Africans. He is the original person who came up with that quote. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation because I know a lot of people give him in my opinion, a little bit too much credit for what he basically cobbled together, in my personal opinion, and I'll land with that.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Um, After I muted myself, and I'm sorry if there's an echo, but after I muted myself, I had to leave the conversation. So everything that happened after I left, I have no idea what happened at all or anything that was said. I'm definitely going to have to get caught up. But overall, I feel like this has been a very productive conversation because we do have some non-FBAs who are riders, who are B1 and who want to help and assist FBA in our endeavors. And definitely salute to them. Salute to you, Kid Gravity, for hosting a space like this, despite the fact that um, it's kind of taboo for Jamaicans to hold their people accountable. Just like in Rich too, it's taboo to hold your people accountable. We need courage and bravery from the non-FBA family, even if that means addressing your own family members. If you guys know, on my YouTube channel, I've addressed my own grandma for being a staunch Joe Biden supporter. She's like super heavy on Joe Biden, and I even called out my own grandma. So B1 is, when we say B1, we mean that black first, black before everything. And even if that means black before family, even if that means you got to put your family on blast, then that's what you got to do. We can't have the, okay, I'm black, but I don't want to. I want to talk pro-black, but not too pro-black because I don't want somebody recognizing me and then me mugging me when I get back to the crib. That means if you got to be the black sheep of the family, then that's what you have to be. You have to be the black sheep of the family. So I'm glad to see that we have more non-FBA brothers and sisters who are willing to be the black sheep of the community and be the black sheep of the family to move the needle forward as far as black empowerment is concerned. So with conversations like this, I definitely think that we can move forward um, as a unit, as a black collective family, as a B1 family. So once again, I want to shout out to the host, the co-host Nikki and Rich. Shout out to everybody in here. I didn't hear what Beatzilla had to say, but shout out to everybody who spoke before. I'm probably going to get off. I know you're going to close this soon, so this is probably going to be my last word. Definitely, I tried to put the space in the jumbotron. I shared it on my profile. It's not popping up on my thing, so I
Of
don't know if
course
it's on the
it's not,
jumbotron or not.
brother. They
But
hate
I'm definitely going to be
conversations like this.
participating. You said what?
Of course they didn't. They hate conversations like this.
Yeah. Well, I tried. I tried twice actually, and I still don't see it. Um, that's the issue with me too. Sometimes I try to put stuff on the jumbotron, it just won't pop up. But I'm definitely going to be participating in Black Alpha Space later on this evening, and I encourage you guys to do that too. Since you guys are here, we have a lot of people in the chat room. If you guys should definitely be following um, Kid Gravity or subscribe to Kid Gravity on his YouTube page. Uh, so you got to salute the host and you got to, give credit where credit is due. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you again for allowing me to speak.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute. Who popping popcorn in their crib? This man looking for the entrance to the Underground Railroad. I think we good now. Hey, yo, man, if y'all going Home Depot while you in my space, man, mute your mic, please. Jesus. But, all right, Rich, you got the last word, and then I'm going to end it, 'cause I need to rest.
Let me say this real quick. Listen, man, if I don't rock with you, don't come in these spaces giving me advice or giving anyone advice or any of that. I only take advice from people I respect. People like Afro Elite, people like Nikki, people like Kid Gravity. If they come in my DM checking me, I don't got no problem with that. They checking me for because they want to see me do better. But if I don't rock with you, don't come in here and giving me advice and telling me what to do or telling anybody else what to do. One thing about me, when I don't like somebody, I stay away from them. I don't go in their spaces. I don't, you know, mingle where they mingle at. I stay away. But you think you're gonna come in here and give game to people you don't even like and they don't like you? Don't do that. Stay away. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Let me end it off like this. We're all black. Can I get some hand claps for that? We're all black, are we not?
No.
Who's not black? Who's not black?
The people who didn't march around saying, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Where do you call yourselves black? You're Jamaicans, you're West Indians, you're Caribbeans. You don't even,
Unfortunately,
I
white
have six,
supremacy,
you know what? I
ma'am.
don't care what white supremacy does. You have petitions saying you don't want to be called black. You've given that to your government.
Well,
You
this
That
say you
brother's
don't
quiet
ma'am,
like
with
the
it
ma'am,
though.
hold
word.
This
on. I
brother
got
good
this,
Wait,
people
ma'am.
though.
Wait, no, no,
He
no, no,
good
no. Let
people.
me get it. Let me get it,
you say you
ma'am,
don't like the
ma'am.
word. It's murky, it's dark, it's filthy.
Ma'am. I
Ma'am, my
understand,
ass.
ma'am. I understand your sentiment. That's why I said an hour ago, a lot of Caribbeans, including Jamaicans, are off code. I said this. I'm Jamaican. I'm acknowledging most of my people, the 2 million plus on there, a lot of them are off code. They are. From the Rastas to the bald heads to the ones up in Norbrook. A lot of them are off code. I get that. But guess what? In this global system of white supremacy, they're not going to differentiate who the fuck you are and what country you're
I
from.
don't
They
go
don't
by what
care.
white people do. I go
Ma'am,
by me.
okay, ma'am, if that's the case, go over to Queens, New York and go ask Sean Bell's people how the police feel about them because he was Jamaican. Go ahead.
I just said I don't go by what white people think or how white people classify me. I go by me, my group, and you and how you classify your group in your islands and how Africans classify
Well,
themselves
ma'am,
in
I
their
wasn't born on the
countries.
island. I was born in Kings County Hospital in
Where
East
you're
Flatbush,
born
New
doesn't
York.
matter. I can't become other races or groups or ethnicities by being born in other countries.
I wasn't born in another country, ma'am. I was born here.
It doesn't matter. I
Oh,
cannot
Jesus
become
Christ.
Australian if I'm born in Australia. I'm just a black American born there. I
This,
don't
Ma'am,
this
become
is
I think you're
this is
I
ma'am. I
this,
don't
think you're
become
confusing
aboriginal.
nationality with
I
race.
don't become aboriginal just because I was born in Australia. I don't get to change my background. We already talked about that. You're
And I
not
don't get to
French.
change who the hell
Well,
I
you
am when I
well
go
you just
outside
said
in
you
my
were over
door, out
here,
of my
so that
door.
means something.
this is
Ma'am,
what they
no,
this
no,
is what
Rich,
they
Rich, Rich, Rich. I got this, ma'am. I don't get to go outside and play something else.
You just did it.
How did I
I
do it,
don't get to go over to Sweden
He
and call
claimed
myself
Jamaican, so
Swedish.
he already
I'm
said
not
that.
of Viking heritage because I went over to Sweden and did some things.
ma'am?
You're trying to erase my whole background
How the
by
hell am I
saying
trying
you're
to,
me.
ma'am? How am I trying to erase your back?
You
Did I
don't even
disparage your
know. You
background?
don't
Did
even
I ever
know.
disparage your
You
background?
don't even know how
Did
you're
I
doing
ever
it. It's
disparage
so
your background?
natural. It's
Did
so
I ever
natural for you
disparage
to
your
do. You
background?
don't even know you're doing it.
How did I disparage your background? Please educate me. Go ahead. How did I disparage your background?
You know what? I'm tired of educating people. You should know what you're
You
doing.
ain't educating nothing,
But
man. You coming with some kindergarten
hey,
bullshit, and I'm
brother,
asking you to
brother,
tell me
brother,
how I do it.
this
Maybe
is
I
hey,
subconsciously did it, and I don't know.
this is an emotional sister,
Instead of being a
bro.
fucking
She'll go
adult and
back and
telling me
forth
where
with
I
you,
messed
bro.
up at, you
Just
sitting
calm
there
him
having
down.
a fucking pussy powwow. Why don't you tell
this
me
is
where I fucked up at?
Okay,
No,
let's end the room on a good note. Let's end the room
No,
on a
but
good
fuck that.
note.
You fucked it
no,
up.
no,
When I'm trying to
calm
talk, you
down,
cut
brother.
me off. Now
You
I
being
want you to
emotional
sit
though.
up there
You
and
being
explain to me
emotional.
how I disparaged you as a black person. Go ahead, please. Educate me. Go ahead.
You didn't. She just got a rise at you, brother. Just calm it down, man. You don't supposed to. Hey,
I'm
you a man.
calm. I'm
You a
calm.
man
I
though.
want her
You
to
a man.
explain how I
Don't.
disparaged her
We're,
race.
we're not
I
going
would
to have
love to
any
do
more.
that.
We're just going to be in the room. We're about to end the room because we were about to
She
end the
got
room
what she
anyway.
wanted. She accomplished what she wanted, bro.
Let me end it like this. Don't confuse me with the niggas on the island. I don't know them. Okay? I don't know them. I was born here. I can only go by what
It
I've
doesn't
known in
matter where
36
you're
years of being
born.
alive.
You still
Now, if
have
you
the
want to
same
educate me and tell me I
parents and
did something wrong,
upbringing.
tell me I did something wrong. But don't sit up here and try to compare me with them Jamaicans. Them
It
Jamaicans
doesn't
are
matter
different.
where you're
Them
born. I
Jamaicans
already
down there don't
explained
think I'm
that.
Jamaican. Okay?
Again, I don't care what Jamaicans think. I don't care what white people
See,
think.
that's what I'm talking
This,
about.
this is
That's
this is
exactly
what
what
they
I'm
do
talking
for a
about. You
living,
don't give a
family. They
shit.
come they come in here and they cause confusion. This is all they do
You
for a
coming in
living.
here,
Cause
you
confusion.
came. All I
Correct.
asked you to do was tell
Correct.
me where I messed up at, so I can learn, so I don't do it next time. And instead of doing that, you sitting there trying to read me to riot at. Tell me
They,
where
Look,
I messed up
look,
at, so
hey,
people
brother,
can.
th-
Let's just get
I
that's
off
the
never
of that.
said
game
any of
that you
that.
Let's
doing,
get
that
the
you
next.
playing, brother. That's the game that you playing. Just hey,
Let's
you gotta play
let's
past
just
it.
agree
Come
to
on, man.
disagree.
Nah, man, I don't
We're
like
not
that.
enemies here. We
It's
all have the
no,
same
Nikki. I
goal.
appreciate that,
Okay.
but it's not about me. It's not about being enemies. I just want to know if I messed up. Let me know. That's all I'm saying.
you didn't
Don't
mess
tell
up
me.
every,
Don't tell me. Oh,
Okay.
I disparaged your race.
Let's get to
I
the
don't know
next
what that
hand.
means.
Black Voltron wanted to speak. Let's get to the next hand. Black Voltron wanted to speak.
What the fuck just happened? I had to take a call, and all of a
That
sudden,
part.
come back to the room in some chaos. What part of this is being on
What
color?
what y'all not gonna do? Y'all not gonna turn me into some white supremacist. That's what y'all not gonna do.
Calm down,
And that's
brother.
real
Hey,
talk.
hey, you let her throw you off your rocker, brother. You're a man. You the truth today, tomorrow, and forever. Don't let no woman come in here, no female come in here throw you off your rocker, brother. You out here,
No,
you
I'm
leading,
good. No,
you
it's
growing.
like I
You
said
know what I'm
Ladies and
saying?
earlier.
Like,
gentlemen, can I
Nah,
speak?
hang
come on.
on. This is what I said earlier. When they gun my ass down the street, they not going through my pockets to find out what flag I'm repping. I'm a black person. That's it. That's all. I don't. Most times, if y'all follow my progression, I don't even mention that I'm Jamaican anymore because I know how the feelings are with y'all in the case with the tether class. I get that, but I
So you're
still tell them,
hiding
yeah,
it?
I'm Jamaican. I tell them that,
family.
but
This is
You were
what
I don't even
raised by
fuck with them
this is
Jamaicans.
because
what
they
they
don't fuck with me.
this is what they do, family. They come in here, they nitpick
All
what you
right.
say, they start an argument, and then they run off. They
Nah,
do
they
this all
calling
the
me
time.
Jafakin and all that bullshit. I took that. I said, all
hey,
right, cool. I wasn't
you
born there. I
good,
don't know
brother.
what's going
Hey,
on.
brother, you good. Hey,
Nah, I'm
your
good.
work been
I'm good.
showing.
Nah, people, I'm
Hey, you've
good.
been speaking good game. You've been
I'm
talking good
good.
game.
Nah,
We've
I'm
been
finna
rocking
end
with
it.
you.
No, I'm gonna
You know
end
what
it
I'm saying?
right
So,
now. I'm gonna
hey,
end it right now.
chill.
Everybody, nah, I'm good.
Yo,
I got it. I got it. Look, all I was gonna say was everybody got their position to play. I appreciate everybody coming up in here and bringing their game. I learned a lot of feedback, and it's only gonna help us grow. Grow. That's all I was gonna say.
Could I ask a question? A real quick question. Why do people who don't like certain people? Why are you in the space if you don't like the host? I
Yo,
don't get it.
look
If
at
you
look
don't
at how
rock
they
with the
did
host, why are you here?
this chick's
Why are
book
you here if you
cover.
don't rock with the
Y'all
host?
wrong, son.
I
That,
Because
said
that,
I didn't
people
rock
people
with them.
engage things they don't like.
that correct, man. That come with the
That's
game,
it.
man. You
That's
doing
it.
something
That's
I
all.
didn't
They
know I
engage
constructive.
didn't
things they
like them
don't
You know what
like.
until I
I'm saying?
heard
Hey,
It's because
I
I've
think
seen
this
this a
is
lot. This is
all
why a
man.
lot of us suck in
10
politics and
things
we don't understand
immigrants
what's going
should
on
do
because
before
our woeful
fleeing the
ignorance. We don't
US.
want to go learn. We just want
Guyana's
things to
10th
stay the
best
same, so we have something to
lawyer
bitch
kind
about.
of
Like I'm
blew
fielding
up.
people on my comment thread talking
Oh,
about how
I thought they
I
were
went
saying
in on
kind of.
Yvette because of what she said about Marcel, and I'm like, why would y'all not want to see this man win? This man, if he wins,
And that's
he's
not even
taking
the
a
thing. I
big
think she
giant
used.
step, probably
I
the
think it was
furthest
New
step
York.
you
She
guys
used
have
as the
had in 60
background.
years
But they
to get
did that.
some
They
sort of
did some
reparations
slow.
package.
Yo,
But y'all
this
mad
nigga
that I
on
said
choking
that
is
Yvette
wild.
fucked up and she needs to go sit down? That's
brother,
what y'all worried
brother,
about? Nah,
brother.
I
You
can't
can't
do
get
that.
everybody to like you, brother. You don't like everybody. All right, that's cool. You just your heart good, and you just keep giving game. That's it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Don't
that's
keep
it. That's it. But I'm I'm gonna end it. I hope the rest of y'all have a good rest of your evening. Get some rest. Go eat something. Make sure it's not that Juneteenth ice cream bullshit. Even though they pulled it, please don't eat that because you're helping the white supremacists. Get ready to go see Rich and Black Alpha Space at 8:30, 6 o'clock. I got a video coming out about that Kendall Valenza chick, the Guyanese. I don't see no racism chick. I found some things in there. Y'all might be interested in it. And then, play with your kids, do drills with them, make sure they know what to do when somebody starts shooting up their school, even though they try to do it again today in Texas. And let's all stay on coast. So everybody take care, stay safe out there. Peace.
Everybody did a great job speaking. Everybody contributed well. No love lost. Everybody have a great day.